rest. Number 20 there's Lady Bye Bye. That's the favourite, Tom Taft and Mrs. Gilson's colours. And Lady Bye Bye has obviously got a favourite chance here. Second last time to Pass the Mott at Gordon Park. That was back in March on softish ground. But Pass the Mott has really advertised that form since, winning both at Naas, a handicap, and in a good performance there, and then went on and won a flat race at Limerick again last week. So last Monday. So Lady Bye Bye, obviously, if she has come on a little bit from that run, would be very difficult to beat here. Has already won on the flat, and with 10 stone 9 in her back here, she'll probably get an excellent ride off of Tom, and sure to go very close. Liam Brown's runner here, this filly by Montekin, in the familiar colours of Mrs. Gilson. There's number 2, there's Rocket Dancer, one of the winners in the race. Rocket Dancer trained by Noel Meade from Mr. Garvey, by Nininsky at Adora's Rocket. And Rocket Dancer is a winner last time out when he beat Sudaf and Only Great at Naas back in April. Before that, he'd been 5th of 11 to Ciela Moore at Leopardstown in a handicap. Noel's horses in sparkling order. And Rocket Dancer, the mount of Tommy Carmody, sure to make some of the maidens go here a bit. But he has to give the best part of the stone, £12 to Lady Bye Bye, and that might be his undoing. Tony, they're getting ready to roll now.
White flag up. The 19 runner's been called into line. A very short run to the first flight, and one that's sideways on to the tape there towards the left. That's Moon Tiger, the mount of leading jockey Charlie Swan, and they're off and running now in the first race at the Easter Monday meeting here at Fairy House. The Moon Tiger takes them to the first, with Lady Bye Bye on the inside, and they're followed by Corvaro Express, and behind these Difflin and then Stigon. By a Dream on the outside with Sallow Glen. Rocket Dancer next on the rails, and behind these Maple Dancer. Behind Maple Dancer comes Keep It Simple as they go to the bend past the stands, and Lady Bye Bye and Tom Taft showing the way. 3 parts of a length in front of Moon Tiger in second. A gap of 4 lengths then to Corvaro Express, followed by a Dream, another 4-length gap to Difflin. Then Sallow Glen, Stigon, and on the inside Rocket Dancer, Maple Dancer just behind these with Alleged Savage, and they're followed by Keep It Simple, and then Nigeru, and behind Nigeru is Carrick Brennan. Torfan on the inside. Rusticata was next with Dreflane Jane and Orion Dream, and behind these Crowning Glory, and the back marker is Mrs. Fantastic. Over the second, Lady Bye Bye from Moon Tiger in second. In third place is Corvaro Express. They're 4 lengths in front of By a Dream. Difflin is 5th, and then 6 Sallow Glen, 7 on the inside Rocket Dancer, 8 is Stigon, and 9 Alleged Savage. Behind these comes Maple Dancer with Nigeru, and then Carrick Brennan. Keep It Simple is next as they make their way towards the top of the course. This is flight number 4, Lady Bye Bye from Moon Tiger and Corvaro Express, and they're followed in 4th place by a Dream. Behind By a Dream in 5th is Rocket Dancer, and then comes Difflin. Behind Difflin, Stigon, then Alleged Savage and Sallow Glen. A gap to Maple Dancer and Nigeru, and then comes Carrick Brennan, Orion Dream. Crowning Glory next on the outside, then Torfan, and behind Torfan is Dreflane Jane. Keep It Simple is dropped out to the rear. Mrs. Fantastic last, but one and last of all is Rusticato. Running downhill now towards the 5th, and Lady Bye Bye in the white colours, the leader. The noseband on the right, that's Moon Tiger. In third place is Corvaro Express, and behind Corvaro Express in 4 By a Dream, and they're followed over it by Rocket Dancer on the inside. As they make the turn now past the halfway stage, they've 4 hurdles to jump, and Lady Bye Bye 4 in front of Moon Tiger. In third place behind these Corvaro Express, another 4-length gap to By a Dream with Difflin, and they're followed by Stigon beginning to improve. Rocket Dancer is next with Alleged Savage, a gap to Orion Dream, and then Carrick Brennan, and behind Carrick Brennan Maple Dancer, Lady Bye Bye the leader. 4 from home, a 3-length advantage over Moon Tiger. A gap of 5 then to Corvaro Express. Stigon makes ground on the outside 4. 5 Rocket Dancer, 6 By a Dream, 7 Alleged Savage, 8 is Difflin, 9 under pressure Orion Dream, and they're clear of Maple Dancer and Carrick Brennan. Torfan has got tailed off and about to be pulled up as they come towards the third last flight, and Lady Bye Bye from Moon Tiger, Stigon, Blinkered making ground in third. Corvaro Express 4, Rocket Dancer tracks the leaders ahead of Alleged Savage. A gap then to By a Dream as they race towards the home turn now with 2 hurdles left to jump, and Lady Bye Bye the leader from Stigon on the outside. In third place and coming under pressure Moon Tiger. Rocket Dancer going well on the heels of the leaders, then Corvaro Express, Alleged Savage, and they're clear of Difflin, By a Dream, Orion Dream, and Maple Dancer as they swing for home with 2 hurdles left to jump, and it's Stigon in the blinkers who comes through to take it up. Rocket Dancer moving up strongly on the outside. Lady Bye Bye in third, Stigon, Rocket Dancer. They've opened up a gap over Lady Bye Bye. Moon Tiger in 4, and then Alleged Savage, and it's Rocket Dancer who quickens to the lead as they cross the path between the last 2 flights. Rocket Dancer from Stigon, they're clear of Moon Tiger. Lady Bye Bye at the final flight. Rocket Dancer, a good jump, leads from Stigon in second. Moon Tiger in 3, Alleged Savage and Lady Bye Bye, and racing up towards the finish of the Leinster Petroleum Hurl. It's Rocket Dancer under Tommy Carmody. A very snug winner here, being eased down in the closing stages. Rocket Dancer hacking up here for the Noel Mead stable. Stigon plugging away in second. Alleged Savage will finish third, just ahead of Lady Bye Bye in 4, and Carvaro Express close up in 5th. And they're a long way clear of Difflin, behind Difflin by a Dream, and then Orion Dream, Crowning Glory. Then came Dreflane Jane, Maple Dancer is next, then Nigeru and Carrick Brennan. After these, across the line, Sallow Glen, then Rusticato, a long way back to Mrs. Fantastic. And unfortunately, Moon Tiger has been pulled up on the run-in and appears to have badly injured a leg and completely tailed off in the race, where Keep It Simple and Torfar, who in fact continued in the race, looking as if he's going to be pulled up for out. He's tailed off just in behind Keep It Simple at the finish. Moon Tiger in difficulties, but there's our winner, number 2, Rocket Dancer, owned by Mr. P. Garvey, trained by Noel Mead. This horse who came good at Naas last time out, a horse who really appreciates the fast ground, and winning with ridiculous ease there under Tommy Carmody in the Leinster Petroleum Hurl. Let's see how he achieved victory as we review the last quarter of a mile or so of the race with Ted Walsh.
Yes, Tony, a very snug victory here. Tommy's just moving hands and heels here, just chasing Stigon. He doesn't want Mickey Flynn to slip and go down to the second last. Mickey has just gone by Lady Bye Bye, who tried to make most of the running there. Stigon has taken it up down to the second last, but Tommy has him well under cover here, and Tommy's horse jumps exceptionally well. So does Stigon. Lady Bye Bye third. Moon Tiger, who unfortunately I think broke a leg after jumping the last, is fourth at this stage. Alleged Savage on the outside there of Carvara Express back in 5th. But at this stage it's 1-2 up in front. Stigon comes under pressure under Mickey Flynn and finds no more. Ground probably a little bit lively for Stigon, and Rocket Dancer's absolutely revelling in the ground, and he quickens away, pricks his ears going to the last, and just steps at it a little bit for Tommy. Stands off maybe a little bit far and reaches for it, but lands running there, gives him the squeeze, up he comes, but just reaches for it and goes away at the back of it for a very easy victory. This horse won an absolute canter, even though he was given £12 to the maiden fillies in this race. He was meeting Stigon, of course, at levels, but goes away for a very impressive victory. Tommy peeps left and right there, make sure there's nothing going to come too quickly at him, but he has them all under observation a long ways out, and a very easy victory here, and sure to go on to win a few more. Stigon obviously appreciates the good ground, and win again for Noel Mead. Good omen too for Little Bighorn later on in the day. Noel's horses in sparkling order at the moment, and Noel has a lot of horses that handle fast ground pretty well, and it could be in his Galway lineup as well. But Rocket Dancer has won the first of the Fairy House here today, and Tommy Carmody on board. In second place, the Stigon has run quite a good race. Third, I think, was Alleged Savage, just in front of Lady Bye Bye. And I see the horse Hamlet has just gone down there now to pick up Moon Tiger. From what here it looked like, she may have shattered her front leg.
Okay. See this, Dennis, can I move that in this way?
Really,
does that make any difference to you?
None to me.
Many of them on the outside. And there we see Tommy Carmody walking in, top of the left. The first winner of the Easter meeting, Tommy, who rides Belser in the Irish National later in the afternoon. A lot of the trainers anxious to find out the exact state of the ground. Tommy, the former champion, and he won't ride many easier winners than that. Rocket Dancer returned the 11-2 winner of the Leinster Petroleum Hurl. And we can confirm now the 1, 2, 3 in starting prices on the 205. The winner first, number 2, Rocket Dancer at 11-2. Second, number 3, Stigon at 10-1. Third, number 1, Alleged Savage at 11-2. And the beaten joint favourites were number 20, Lady Bye Bye, number 23, Orion Dream, and they went off at 5-1.
Well, racing is a sport full of ups and downs, and thankfully, generally speaking, the ups heavily outweigh the downs. But 7 days ago, we were dealt a shattering body blow when David Parnell, one of our leading riders and surely a champion of the future, died in his car in a car crash on his way to work. Just 24 years old, David showed on a regular basis all the hallmarks of future greatness, as we can see in these excerpts on Astræus and Tanwy.
And it's Eloquent Minister and Stephen Crane, 2 in front of Astræus in second, Broadway Rosie in third. Fluda's Ball 4, they're clear of gold as they race towards the final furlong now. And over on the far side, Eloquent Minister being chased by Astraeus in second, and they're followed in third place by Broadway Rosie. But it's Eloquent Minister, Astraeus running on really well on the outside as they race up towards the line. Eloquent Minister, Astraeus on the near side. It's going to be desperately close between them as they go by. Eloquent Minister and Astraeus in a photo. And it's Rathbone Realm in the lead from Hitchin' a Ride. Tanwy makes ground towards the outside and quickens up well now as they race towards the final furlong. Now it's Tanwy in the centre of the course. On the far side, Rathbone Realm. Then comes Hitchin' a Ride. Getting going late is Oberon Sun as they race inside the final furlong. Tanwy is the leader from Oberon Sun on the near side. In third place, just behind these, Proud Friend, but racing up the line. Tanwy the leader, defies top weight, wins it by about a length. Oberon Sun is second, Proud Friend 3. Off the band, 2 furlongs to race, and it's Neat Dish the leader from Nordic Surprise, Fantastic Flyer in third, Tanwy 4, and they're followed by Navy Admiral and Annie Laurie on the outside, but Neat Dish out in front, chased by Fantastic Flyer in second, Tanwy is in third, then Nordic Surprise inside the final furlong, Neat Dish, Tanwy on the outside. Tanwy takes it up now from Neat Dish, Fantastic Flyer between horses as they race up towards the finish. Tanwy is the leader as they go to the line. Tanwy is the leader in the Ardennold Stud Stakes and wins it by about 2.5 lengths. In second place is Fantastic.
Ted, David was a tragic loss to Irish racing.
He was a tragic loss to racing because David was a real professional. From the time he was about 15 or 16 years of age, serving his time in Mullins's, just to watch him dress, his approach to the game, everything about him. He was a thorough little gentleman and really applied himself from, as I said, from the time he got up in the morning till he finished in the afternoon with being a professional. He was immaculately turned out. He always took pride in his riding style and everything else. And in the last 12 months, he had really come to being a sort of a man at the game. He got that extra little bite into his riding that was going to make him a future champion. A big loss to racing, but more so to his mother Anna, who turned him out over the years to be exactly what he is. She groomed him from very early on to be like his father, a top-class jockey, and to really go to the top. It's a big loss for her, and our sympathies lie with Anna and of course with Buster and his sister Tina, and he'll be very, very hard to replace in the Irish racing game, because top-class jockeys of David's ability come all too rarely in the game.
And even in defeat, he looked good.
Even in defeat, that's the one thing about him. He never lost that rhythm and style, and he was, as I said, a brilliant rider, but his style was really the hallmark of a champion. And as you say, in defeat even, he never looked untidy, and a real top-class rider.
Tyrone Bridge.
Tyrone Bridge, he looked as good on him. Most fellas look good when they win. He looked equally as good in defeat, and that's a very hard thing to do.
On the outside, just behind these Maiden Fair with Tyrone Bridge in the noseband. Just in behind these in fifth, Phantom Breeze. Behind Phantom Breeze, Sesame, and then comes Shweenev as they swing towards the straight with almost 3 furlongs to cover upper strata from Lazaz. 2 lengths into Tyrone Bridge. Phantom Breeze is 4. Petty Deal making ground and gone fifth as they swing for home under 3 furlongs to race. Lazaz tackles upper strata. Tyrone Bridge in the blue colours. Then a gap to Phantom Breeze. Petty Deal still making steady progress on the outside. Sesame behind these and then beyond the lake. They're racing down now towards the final furlong and a half, and Tyrone Bridge comes to challenge. On the far side, Lazaz, on the near side, Petty Deal, Phantom Breeze in behind them in 4, and then upper strata, but it's Tyrone Bridge the leader on the near side, Petty Deal, and they're followed by Lazaz as they race into the closing stages. Petty Deal on the near side, on the far side, Tyrone Bridge is going to be very close between them as they race towards the finish. Petty Deal on the near side, Tyrone Bridge on the far side, neck and neck as they flash across the line, possibly just Tyrone Bridge from Petty Deal. Lazaz 3, upper strata 4.
Well, David's mother Anna would like us to thank everybody who attended the funeral and sent their sympathies. So many came that it was impossible to get around to them all, but she is very appreciative of the people who support her. We'd also like to remember Richard Short, who passed away last Monday as well. Richard, maybe not as famous a name in the racing game as David Parnell, but from a great racing family, and he went after a pretty long illness there. He died last Monday. His sympathy too to his wife and his 4 young children, and he'll be sadly missed as well.
Well, the big race coming up at 5 to 4. Desert Orchid short ahead the market, and we'll bring you betting very shortly. Oh, we can join Tony O'Hare.
Yes, the Irish National, from which there are 5 defections at the moment. Carvel's Hill, Yahoo, Mixed Blends, Peacock Royale, and Ross Never Sleeps, leaving a field of 14 going to post. And that race still some way away. Due off at 3:55. We've 2 races to bring you in the meantime. 2 mile 6 furlong Hackett Bookmakers Handicap Pearl and the Jameson Gold Cup Pearl with an English raider in the shape, 2 English raiders in fact in the shape of Arden and Keep Hope Alive.
Well, no Maid of Money this year. Maid of Money has followed the career that was plotted for her some time ago. But during the week, we caught up with her at the home of Nigel and Jean Longstaff. Nigel, the son-in-law, and Jean, the daughter of the mare's owner, Mrs. Ada McCormack. Nigel, she looks magnificent. What's she been doing now for the last 4 weeks?
She came back to me on the Monday after the Gold Cup in great shape. After all the travelling, the crowds at Cheltenham, the race itself, it was amazing how she switched off and started letting down very quickly. She came out to this paddock on the Monday for 10 minutes, just had a graze. Gradually increased longer periods of time out in the paddock, and she's still in at night because it gets pretty cold at night. And she let down very well.
Your mother-in-law, Ada McCormack, who owns her, and of course who bred her, she's always said that she would end with the Gold Cup and that she would go to stud before too long. Absolutely.
She's had 3 seasons racing, and you should really be interviewing my mother-in-law, Ada McCormack, rather than me, because she, in fact, over the years has been a great supporter of National Hunt racing and of breeding. And it's great to see that, you know, it's coming good for her. She herself, she's recovering well from a recent illness. She's now home, recovering well. It's been a great boost to her to have a horse like Maid of Money and having other ones coming along afterwards. And I'm delighted for her.
She's had the family for a long time, hasn't she?
Yes, yes. This and 1 or 2 other families. And she's had horses for years and years now, and been a great supporter.
As a young horse was Maid of Money, did she have any sort of idiosyncrasies? Was she anything particular about her, can you remember?
Hansel Money herself, she's 18 now, having bought her as a 3-year-old. We've had her for 15 years, and she's had 9 produce now. One can see characteristics coming out in all the produce that she's had. It's hard to define, just small things you notice in the stable. They're all great grubbers, and they have little idiosyncrasies.
She's not actually all that big, is she?
No, she's just 16 hands. She has a great way of going when she's walking around the paddock at a race meeting. She's striding out and she looks nearer 17 hands than 16 hands. She has a great way of going, but when you stand up to her and she's relaxed, she's a small horse.
The National 12 months ago must have been something special for you all.
Oh, it was. Fantastic. For her to do it as a novice and with a large weight was amazing. John Fowler did a fantastic job with her. We asked him to train her for 3 seasons, which he did, and achieved an enormous success. It's obviously disappointing for him, having got her jumping well and doing well with her altogether. It's obviously disappointing for him not to continue training her, but at the same time she's always going to get big weights. She's going to have a far better chance of breeding successfully, having had 3 seasons racing rather than a further span.
Was it a hard decision, do you feel, for your mother-in-law to make the decision to bring her out of training?
No, I don't think so. We'd always planned on doing that. And she, as long as the horse reaches its full potential, that is the main thing. And she did that. And one can't be greedy. If you go to the well too often, you'll live to regret it.
Up. Anthony Powell steals a glance over his shoulder, sees he's a 4 to 5 length lead. Maid of Money the leader, followed in second place by Candy Well. Then Banker's Benefit as they jump to second last. Maid of Money the leader. He's over from Candy Well, lost a bit to forward. Banker's Benefit left third. Cool Ground is almost brought down as unseated rider, but Maid of Money and Anthony Powell clear to the final fence in the Irish National. Candy Well in second, Hava Barney back in third. Banker's Benefit 4, but Maid of Money jumps it well, and she's clear. Candy Well in second, Hava Barney and Banker's Benefit 3, 4, Barney Burnett 5 as they race up to the finish. It's Maid of Money putting up a fine performance here under Anthony Powell to win it for the John Fowler stable. Maid of Money pushed out, hands and heels, the impressive winner of the Irish National.
Yes, she was something special 12 months ago, wasn't she? A very special mare indeed. And I spoke to Nigel Longstaff when I got to the course today, and he told me that yesterday she was covered by orchestra. So that's certainly going to be an interesting foal in the making. Now let's have a look at the Grand National betting, and I'll be surprised if Desert Orchid doesn't head the market at quite short odds. And indeed, he is the favourite, but a shade of odds against. Desert Orchid, the 11 to 10 favourite. Bold Flyer on offer at 5 to 1. Havabani is 11 to 2. Belser is 8 to 1. Barney Burnett is 12 to 1, along with Us and Joe. It's 14 to 1 then the committee, and 20 to 1 bar those 7. That's the early betting on the Jameson Irish Grand National. And we can now take the runners and riders on our next race. It's the Hackett-Dunshaughlin Handicap Hurdle with Tony O'Hare.
They're headed by number 1, Lack and Bow, ridden by Pat McWilliams. Number 2 is Bon Sant, ridden by Conor O'Dwyer. Number 3 is Secret Venture, Jason Titley. Number 4, Wolver Run, Philip Dempsey. Number 5, Open the Gate, Charlie Swan. Number 6, Black Tricks, Ken Morgan. 7, Dysart Lady, Kevin O'Brien. 8 is Mr. Hoy, Mickey Flynn. 9, Watercourse, Anthony Powell. 10, Kinky Lady, Brendan Sheridan. 11, Fane Banks, Tommy Carmody. 12, Sharp Comment, Tony O'Brien. 13, Arctic Flare, Colin Bones. 14, Al Toontash, Richard Dunwoody. 15 is Mystery Rose, and that one written by M.A. Davies. 16, The Vibes, is the mount of Tom Taft. 17, Glenn Mullen, written by P.J. Ryan. 18, Foyle Grills, written by Joe Pearce. 19, Gertie's Pride is a non-runner. Number 20, French Speech, is written by Leo Brady. Crowd milling around the parade ring, getting a look at the runners for this 2 mile 6 handicap hurdle. Pretty open looking affair. Some alterations to running and riding plans later in the afternoon. In the 3:15 race, the Jameson Gold Cup Pearl, they all go to post. 2, Arden, is ridden by Richard Dunwoody, and 8, Opulent by Mickey Flynn. In the 3:55, just repeating the 5 absentees there. 2, Carvel's Hill, who's out because of the ground. 3, Yahoo. 14, Mixed Blends. 15, Peacock Royale. 17, Russ Never Sleeps, all out, and VS Certs produced for all 4. And then in the 4:30 race, the Ratote Novice Chase, the non-runners there, Harrington, number 8, and number 12, Smashin' Lass, with the changes in that race. Number 4, Beacom Prince, Tommy Ryan. 13, Sweet Vibes, Mickey Flynn. That race incomplete at the moment. And now the changes we have, including the last leg of the jackpot. Absentees from the 5:30, the bumper, include 1, Cherry Hill Beauty, and 16, Ardna Club Cross.
Well, here's the first that we see. Dysart Lady, a daughter of King's Ride, trained by James Kernan. Dysart Lady carrying a £6 penalty, in fact, for winning her last race, and it was a good race to win indeed. She beat Market Mover and Ryan's Fancy very comprehensively indeed by 5 lengths and 12, and that was her 3rd hurdling win, in fact, of the year. Before that, she'd been beaten just a couple of lengths by Enna Riley River at Gorham Park back in March, and she was a good winner from Typhoon Signal and Dora Daisy at Tipperary on heavy ground before that. So Dysart Lady more than paying her way, and I think she's going to be a pretty good sword in the future too. She's going to be one of the ones that'll be figuring prominently in the betting, and Ted, I give her a good chance.
Yeah, she's a tough mare. James Kieran trains himself for himself. She stays and will get every yard of this 2 mile 6. And I don't think she'll be too inconvenienced by the ground. She's won on all types of ground and ran a smashing race. I think her best race when she was 3rd in a very good winner's bumper at Leopardstown to Bart Owen and General ID at Leopardstown back in the spring, back in February time, and we're still in the spring, but she's a tough mare, and when you get one of these tough mares, they keep on improving a bit. There could be no end to maybe how good she could be, maybe with another year under her belt and go jumping fences. 6-year-old mare, they're sure to win a lot of races. You notice the horses are starting to come in their coats as well too, even though it's cold enough here today. They look that little bit like summery more looking. They're coated out and look really well.
And I heard an announcement, Ted, just a few minutes ago that the horses were allowed to keep their quarter sheets on later on in the parade, and that's an interesting thing because there was, well, a lot said about that a couple of years ago, but they only say that when it's very cold indeed, and I can tell you that it's pretty chilly here at Fairyhouse. Next we see is Watercourse. Watercourse, the mount of Anthony Powell. Watercourse, gelding by Henbit, trained by Henry Cleary.
Yeah, Watercourse, he's by the same sire as Scribensis Henbit, who stands down in Coolmore. And Watercourse is a winner of 2 bumpers and a couple of hurl races. He looked like going to be something special early on in the year when he won his bumpers in good fashion, and then he won a couple of hurl races, but then he lost his way a little bit. I think it was probably because of the heavy ground. Well, when I say lost his way, he didn't live up to the expectations that people thought early on, but he's come right back to his very best with a recent win at Clonmel. It wasn't a great competitive race, but he won it in a smart fashion and had a good race before that. He was second to Lochgale at Thurles. He's a nice sort of horse, Watercourse, sure to go on and make a nice chaser, and he's one of many nice horses Henry Cleary trains for Bert Allen, and I think Watercourse will make all these go here today. John Berry, who usually rides him, has gone down to Mallow to ride Full as a Coot for his uncle Padge in the bumper, so that may be an indication that John fancies Full as a Coot more than Watercourse, or if you're a stay-at-home punter you might back that, but his able deputy here is Anthony Powell. I think Watercourse is a real live each-way chance here in this 10,000 handicap. He'll get every yard of the trip. 2 mile and 6 won't be any problem to him, and what beats him might win. He might win himself.
I had the pleasure of riding him actually, Ted, about five or 6 weeks ago. We didn't do anything terribly serious, I can tell you that, but he felt a nice horse to ride anyway. And I must say the Allens have a lovely place down there, just the other side of Gorey. Fabulous gallops there, right in the sand dunes. I think they've got 2 miles of gallops, and all of 10 furlongs straight, so fabulous facilities. Bert Allen, a great supporter of the winter game, and Watercourse bidding for his 5th win on the National Hunt Rules. And we can check the betting and we'll see that Open the Gate and Dysart Lady dispute favouritism with the Vibes all on 5 to 1, and Alton Tash is 5 to 1 as well. Mr. Hoy is a 6 to 1 shot with Watercourse, and it's 8 to 1 bar those. So very open betting for this 2 3/4 mile race. 4 animals, 4 horses sharing the market at 5 to 1. And a couple more, Watercourse included, just a point longer. And one of the joint favourites, this is Open the Gate. Open the Gate, a gelding by the Parson, out of Ontrine, trained by Desi Hughes, and the mount of Charlie Swan. Well, Open the Gate is a very useful sort indeed. In fact, ran up a hat-trick earlier on in the season. Was beaten last time out, though, beaten into 5th place, in fact, and that was when he finished behind Call Me Later here back at the 1st February meeting. But before that, Open the Gate had beaten Scottish Ruler very easily by 5 lengths at Punchestown, and impressed when beating Mr. Hoy in a real good race, again here way back at the very first meeting of the year. Very useful sort, Open the Gate. He's a brother to Over the Last and Stray Shot, who were both good sorts as well. He's by a horse called the Parson. Well, I say a horse called the Parson, everybody in racing knows about the Parson, and everyone was saddened when they learned only 4 or 5 weeks ago that the Parson had passed away. He's certainly going to be remembered for a good many years indeed. He'll have foals, in fact, on the ground next year, so we'll be talking about Stock by the Parson for a good many years, and he was a good horse himself. That's number 5, Open the Gate, the mount of Charlie Swan.
Owned by a long patron of Desi Hughes as well, Mrs. Tommy Doherty, been with Desi right from the very start.
And here's the Vibes. The Vibes trained for Tim Murray by Arthur Moore. The Vibes are gelding by Le Bavard, and the mount of Tom Taff. Well, I thought the Vibes was going to be a real good horse when I saw him a year ago, and he's just taken his time to come good, but I haven't given up with him yet at all, and I think that the distance of today's race will really suit him. He won over 2.5 miles last time out. That was when breaking his maiden. That was here back, way back a month or 6 weeks ago. Tom rode him to a 4-length win over Mammy's Friend and Kindly King. And that was his best performance that he's put up over hurdles. A nice sort. He's by Le Bavard, and he's just taken a little bit longer than I thought he would. The Vibes, Ted, you give him a chance?
He has a chance. He likes to bowl along up there. I think this competitive handicap here, he's not too much weight. He's back 10 stone 8, but I think he has enough for what he has done so far on the track, and he has his chance. Maybe the good ground will help him a bit. A lot of Le Bavards like a bit of nice ground. I think he'll be a better horse when he goes jumping fences even, because his style of race and will stretch horses along a bit.
Well, no shortage of runners for this Dunshockfin hurdle. Here's number 14. This is Altman Ash, another of the fancied runners, trained by Frank Lennon for Mr. Hitchcock. Alton Ash, a colt by the French-bred Labus, and he's the mount of Richard Dunwoody. Well, Richard will be, of course, teaming up with Desert Orchid later on in the afternoon, and what a great partnership that has been. Alton Ash, pulled up last time out. In fact, he's an ex-English trained performer, pretty useful hurdler last season when he won 3 times up to 2.5 miles on top of the ground, and of course that's so significant now with the ground changing. He made a pretty promising reappearance when runner-up in a 3-mile Uttoxeter handicap in October, but he's well beaten afterwards when pulled up in his latest effort. That was way back in mid-November. And as I say, he's suited by a sound surface. He stays 3 miles, formerly trained by Ian Wardle, and he's got the conditions that he was best at last season. So he's really a very interesting runner. Alton Tash, number 14.
Richard Dunwoody having his second ride for Frank Lennon here. He rode him one from in the first as well. And Richard, who we'll see in action in the next on Charlie Brooks's Arden, and then in the big one, of course, on Desert Orchid. And lots of young lads here today come to see both Desert Orchid and Richard Dunwoody in action, because any young lads who may be aspiring to being a top jump jockey have this fella pinned up over their beds. Richard tells me he's off by Concord on Saturday after riding at Ayr to ride Nomadic Way in the big race at Dueling Grounds on Sunday.
Talking of which, I think you're going, aren't you? You're going by Concord?
No, I'm going by train. I'll be swimming most of the way.
Going by steam. Grable, of course, will be carrying the Irish flag at Dueling Grounds. And she'll be one that won't be that inconvenienced by the firm ground. So, with the runners on their way for this Hackett Bookmakers Dunshaughlin Handicap Hurdle, we'll now take a short commercial break.
New Albatross Enrich, a range of high nitrogen compounds to enrich your land. Albatross Enrich 27 for richer pasture. Albatross Enrich 24 for richer hay and silage. Every enriched acre grows richer grass, carries more stock, gives a heavier yield to see you right through the winter. For high nitrogen rich grass, spread Enrich from Albatross.
Delicious fresh country milk with extra protein and vitamins, but only half the fat. Dawn High and Low helps to keep you in the pink.
Freephone 1-800 is a new service from Telecom Erin. When you see a 1-800 number, it's free.
This is the only E you'll find in pure butter. Because pure butter is 100% natural.
New plastic padding chemical metal. It's super strong. Look, join metal to glass, and after only 10 minutes, you can't remove it without breaking the glass. Plastic padding bonds steel to wood, seals metal, fills stone, repairs concrete. Fix it with super strong plastic padding chemical metal.
When it's time for break, Cadbury's snack, snack. Choose it for the chocolate. Cadbury's snack.
Choose it for the chocolate. Warners bring you Dead Calm. 2 people on a sea of tranquility plunged into a voyage of fear by a stranger.
God, you're pretty.
What about those people, huh?
You think I'm making this up?
And License to Kill. James Bond is back for revenge. Two gripping videos to rent.
Welcome back to Fairy House, and we now have joint favourites, just two joint favourites at the top of the market. Open the Gate and Old Tuntash are both 5-1 shots. Dysart Lady has gone out a point to 6-1, with the Vibes also 6-1. Drifting a point to 7-1 is Mr. High. Watercourse and Fane Banks are both 8-1 chances. It's 10-1 now, bar those 7. So Fane Banks, an 8-1 shot, bidding to provide Noel Mead with a double this afternoon. Rocket Dancer, very impressive in the opening race. And Fane Banks, certainly on what we saw of him at Leopardstown not that long ago, well, he's a pretty useful sort when caught at his best. Fane Banks with the white colours and the striped sleeves there in the centre of our picture, just having his girth adjusted. Tommy Carmody in the saddles, one of the blinkered runners, Fane Banks, and he really did look pretty good when he won at Leopardstown. He beat Alton O'Brockie and Glenn Mullen by a couple of lengths and 5 lengths. He came from a long way back that day. Peter McLaughlin rode him then, and in fact Peter rode him on his subsequent starts as well, including last time out when he was narrowly beaten into 3rd place by Mystery Rose in Navan on softish ground. Tommy Carmody has the mount this afternoon. That's number 11, Fane Banks.
Later on in the day, I ride a half-brother of Fane Banks is for Noel Mead in the bumper Lucklam. I think he'll go pretty close as well.
Mr. High, one we didn't get a close look at. Here he is, Mr. High in the red colours with the light green cross sashes. Mr. High, a gelding by Avocat out of Mrs. Shawn, and at the mount of Mickey Flynn. Mickey gets on really well with Mr. High. They have won on a couple of occasions, and Mickey rode him when he was 3rd last time out to Merry Dance at Down Royal in an upside-down handicap. He carried 11 stone 12. In fact, Graham McCourt had the mount on him when he last visited the Winners' Enclosure, Mr. High, and that was at Leopardstown back in February when he beat Winfield Angel and Alton O'Brockie by 4 and 8 lengths.
He tends to hang a bit, Mr. High, and right-handed track up to now didn't suit him anyway. He ran here one day at Fairy House back in early on in the new year, and he ran right across the track under pressure. It'll be interesting to see how he handles the right-handed track here. Obviously went around Down Royal all right, but you'll note he won at both Navan, which is left-handed, and at Leopardstown, which is also left-handed.
He's a recruit, in fact, from the point-to-point field. He ran 4 times in point-to-points last season. He won all 4 starts. So that was pretty good. Open the Gate is the now clear favourite at 5-1. Old Tuntash is a 6-1 shot, varying 7 6s, 5 6s now. Dysart Lady is 6-1 along with the Vibes. It's 7-1 then Mr. High, also 7-1 Watercourse, 8-1 Fane Banks, and 10-1 Bar. So the 19 runners, won't be long I don't think before Paddy Powell gets them underway. Open betting, a real open race this one, and it's always a very competitive one and a good betting race with the bookmakers. Invariably big fields go for this. Hackett Bookmakers sponsored Dunshaughlin Hurdle, and of course run on varying types of ground. The ground just on the firm side of good, I'd say, this afternoon. But so often the Easter meeting can have heavy ground. The Vibes in the hooped colours there, Tom Taff, number 16.
Interestingly, Robert Tommy Carmody, who rode the first winner, I know you always ask the person who rode the winner, but he said the ground was absolutely perfect on the hurl track, and no excuses for any real horses, and very safe ground. So it's good to hear that, especially from someone as knowledgeable as Tommy. But then he did ride the winner, and most fellas are pretty happy with it when they do ride the winner. The official state of the ground is good. Jockeys getting called into order. There shouldn't be too much hassle here. 2 miles and 6. Those who want to make it, get themselves a nice little posse up ahead, and the other lads will probably just drop in behind. But they'll go a good gallop with good ground here. Tom Taff had made it previously on the Vibes over hurls. That were in maiden hurls. He may take his time a little bit longer here, but I noticed him getting over onto the inside rail, so he definitely intends to be pretty handy. He's on the left of our picture, very much so towards the rail. He's heading across that way now.
The grey is Mystery Rose bidding for her 6th win.
And that's number 1 Lacken Bow, the mount of Pat McWilliams. The partnership severed briefly there, but Pat was looking for a leg up. He's the leading claiming rider this season. Went to the top of the table at Mallow on Saturday. And reunited with number 1 Lacken Bow, trained in County Antrim by Ian Ferguson. It looks as if they're about to be called into line. They're the top weight, Lacken Bow, who had a very good run of success early in the season. Still a little bit anxious, and they've been called in now, and they're off and running in this Hackett Bookmakers Dunshaughlin Handicap Hurl. 2 miles and 6 furlongs ahead of them, 12 flights of hurls to be jumped, and as they make their way towards the first, Sharp Comet on the outside is the leader. Sharp Comet from Watercourse, and on the inside Mystery Rose. Open the gate just behind them with the Vibes and then French Speech as they come down now towards the second flight. And a good 20 length spread on them already, with Sharp Comet the leader by 2 lengths from Mystery Rose. Open the gate in third. The Vibes and Watercourse next ahead of French Speech, and they're followed by Secret Venture and Black Tricks. Foil Grills comes next. Then on the inside behind these is Fane Banks. Coming down now to the second, Sharp Comet, 3 lengths to the good. From Mystery Rose in second, then Open the Gate and the Vibes, and they're followed by Secret Venture and French Speech. Behind French Speech comes Foil Grills as they begin to run now towards the straight. Heading towards flight number 3, and Sharp Comet in the lead, 3 lengths clear. Mystery Rose in second. In third place on the outside, Open the Gate. Just behind them, the Vibes. Then Secret Venture, Watercourse. And on their outside, French Speech, Foil Grills just behind them, with Dice Out Lady next, and then Mr. Hoy. Out over the third and coming to the flight of hurls before the stand, Sharp Comet with a 4-length lead over Open the Gate in second, then the grey Mystery Rose on the rails. Secret Venture is next, the Vibes on the inner, then French Speech. Behind French Speech comes Watercourse, and then Foil Grills and Fane Banks and Mr. Hoy, and then Dice Art Lady and Glen Mullen and Black Tricks and Kinky Lady. Just behind these comes Bon Sant, and then Lacken Bow with Wolver Run. Alongside Wolver Run, Al Toontash, and the back marker at this stage is Arctic Flare. They've jumped 4 flights as they swing right-handed past the stand. Sharp Comment in the lead from Open the Gate in second. Mystery Rose is 3. 4 behind these is Foil Grills, and behind Foil Grills on the outside is French Speech. They're followed by Secret Venture, and then Watercourse, then the Vibes and Mr. Hoy and Dice Out Lady. They're followed by Bon Sant, and behind Bon Sant comes Fane Banks, and then Kinky Lady and Wolver Run, and behind these Altoon Tash and Glen Mullen. Then Black Tricks and Lacken Bow, and finally Arctic Flare. Going towards the next, flight number 6, Sharp Comment the leader from Open the Gate in second. Alongside is Foil Grills. The Vibes moves forward. Mystery Rose gets a few reminders on the inside. Then Secret Venture getting stoked up as well, and they're followed by French Speech, and then comes Fane Banks with Watercourse, and then Kinky Lady. Wolver Run behind these on the inside. Mr. Hoy is next. Then Bon Sant, Altoon Tash as they reach the top of the hill and swing towards Ballyhack. The leader still by a length. Sharp Comment from Foil Grills in second. Open the Gate is third, 3 lengths to Mystery Rose. Then the Vibes. Behind the Vibes comes Fane Banks with Watercourse. Dice Art Lady improves, and they're followed by Kinky Lady and Wolver Run, and then Altoon Tash, Secret Venture Weekling, then Bon Sant and Mr. Hoy. Glen Mullen and Lacken Bow, and behind Lacken Bow French Speech, and then Black Tricks at the next. Just over a mile from home. Sharp Comment in the lead from Foil Grills and Open the Gate. The Vibes is fourth. Just behind these is Fane Banks, and they're followed by Mystery Rose. Making ground towards the leaders, Bon Sant and Dice Out Lady. As they make the far turn now, they've 4 hurls left to jump. And Sharp Comment shows in the lead with the Foil Grills disputing it now. Gone up on the outside into third place is the Vibes. Open the Gate is 4, then Watercourse. Behind these is Fane Banks with Dice Art Lady, Mystery Rose. Bon Sant, Wolver Run is next, and they're followed by Kinky Lady. Altoon Tash is next, and just behind these Lacken Bow. And an amount of bunching there as Sharp Comment drops back appeared to hamper Mystery Rose, but they're coming now towards the 5 furlong marker, and Foil Grills on the inside of Watercourse. Gone up on the outside is Bon Sant. The Vibes is right with them. Fanebanks just behind them with Open the Gate. But as they race towards the third last flight now, the Vibes on the inside shows fractionally in front of Bonsant and Watercourse, and they're followed by Foyle Grills, and behind these Open the Gate and then Fanebanks, and after Fanebanks comes Altoon Tash as they race towards the home turn. 3 furlongs to race now, and the Vibes on the inside of Watercourse, Altoon Tash wide of these. Just behind them is Bonsant, then Open the Gate on the inside, but as they come off the bend it's Altoon Tash who moves through to take it up. Altoon Tash from the Vibes, and then Fanebanks, and behind these Watercourse. Altoon Tash lands in the lead from Fanebanks in second, the Vibes is third, and they're followed by Open the Gate. Wolverine is staying on as they come down now towards the final flight, and it's Altoon Tash tackled on the near side by Fanebanks. Dunwoody and Carmody at the final flight. Fanebanks on the near side brushes through it, has a slight advantage. Altoon Tash fighting back on the inside, and they're clear of Open the Gate as they race up towards the finish. And on the near side, these two supreme professionals fighting it out. Carmody on the near side on Fanebanks as they race up the line. Altoon Tash on the inside. Open the Gate's coming late, but Fanebanks wins it, a double for Tommy Carmody and Noel Meade. Third place on second Altoon Tash, third is Open the Gate, and they're clear of Glen Mullen. And behind these comes Wolverine, then Mr. Hoy. Black Tricks is next, then Foyle Grills, and then came Lackenbow and the Vibes trailing back towards the tail of the field. The last one to go by is in fact French Speech. So a really thrilling battle there for the Hackett Bookmakers Dunshaughlin Handicap Pearl. Tommy Carmody and Richard Dunwoody locked together in a battle from the last, but it's certainly a good day for Carmody. This is his second winner, 7-1 chance. Fanebanks for Noel Meade, who supplied him with the first winner here, Rocket Dancer. Fanebanks coming out the better after Altoon Tash had shot clear early in the straight.
Well, Altoon Tash coming on the outside there with the yellow colours, takes over from Watercourse, and at this stage the Vibes on the inside. Tommy Carmody changed his hands there on the blinkered. Fanebanks back in fourth place. Altoon Tash looked all over the winner here as he pinged the second last for Richard Dunwoody and looked like he was going to get the cash. Goes to the second last, pricks his ears, jumps it well. Tommy Carmody moves into second place there on Fanebanks. On the approach to the last, it was nip and tuck between the two of them. Tommy really gets to work on Fanebanks, and he finds that little bit extra. Richard Dunwoody picks his stick out in his right hand. At this stage I thought Tommy was definitely going to get the upper hand, but he gets under the last and doesn't meet it well, and Richard gets another fast jump out of Altoon Tash. Tommy's fella doesn't land over as quick as running as Richard Dunwoody's horse Altoon Tash. Richard picks his stick out in his right hand here, gets a couple of backhanders, but Tommy gets stuck into Fanebanks from here on in home. Two of the best that you could find anywhere in the world to ride a finish or ride through a country, Tommy Carmody and Richard Dunwoody, and this is going to be Tommy's day today. Tommy gets down, different type of style than Richard. He's shorter, rides with a shorter leg, flat style. Richard on the other side, an absolute perfectionist as well, and really strong. Tommy's horse Forge is clear here in the last 50 yards, and this will be a very sweet victory for Tommy Carmody, because he's a man who believes in himself, and he is one of the very best, and he believes he is too, and he proves it here again today that there's has no match anywhere. Richard Dunwoody on the second does nothing wrong, just a better horse on the day. In third place is Open the Gate, Charlie Swan, who that runs a good race as well. But it was a thrilling finish. The crowd here, I'm sure, will really like it, and the man who rode the winner will get great satisfaction out of this one.
So Fanebanks, one of the blinkered runners in the race, running on gamely there. Horse that we saw win at Leopardstown back in February when the going was pretty holding on that occasion. And one very happy man, T. Carmody, the former champion, returning after winning this £5,650 to the winner handicap. Tommy with excellent prospects in the next race of making it 3 for the Meade stable, with Little Bighorn one of the prime fancies in the Jameson Gold Cup. And then it'll be the leg up on Belzer for Dick Nevin and Paddy Anglin in the Irish National. Anthony Powell on the left, as official confirmation of the result has just been called now over the public address system. 11 the winner, Fanebanks, second 14 Altoon Tash, and third number 5 Open the Gate. Noel Meade discussing the winner with members of the press corps. The result has just been confirmed over the PA. Fanebanks from Altoon Tash and Open the Gate. Starting prices And the winner, number 11, Fane Banks, at 7-1. Second, number 14, Al Toontash, at 13-2. And third was number 5, Open the Gate, the 11-2 favourite. 19 ran, Gertie's Pride was the absentee. The official distance has been called now. Half a length, the margin between first and second. It's the outside enclosure below the grandstand area. Always very popular on Easter Mondays. Huge crowd here today. Always a big crowd on Irish National Day, and the attraction of Desert Orchid, the White Wonder from across the water, certainly bringing more people. All 9 runners going to post in our next race. No absentees from that, the Jemison Gold Cup Hurl, and we'll have Tommy Carmody and Richard Dunwoody in action once again. Tommy on Little Bighorn, Richard Dunwoody partnering Arden for Charlie Brooks. Charlie, who will have more runners here on Wednesday, and is indeed planning to have runners at the upcoming Punchestown Festival. Youngster striding out well on the ground. That group more interested in finding the winner of the next race. And a child who's almost oblivious to everything that's going on.
Well, we can now take the confirmation of the starting prices with the tote prices on our first race of the day. It was the Leinster Petroleum Hurdle, won in great style by Rocket Dancer, the 11-2 winner. Second was number 3, Stigon at 10-1. Third was number 1, Alleged Savage at also 11-2. We had a couple of joint favourites at 5-1, numbers 20 and 23. A number of non-runners, numbers 4, 10, 16, 22 and 24, leaving 19 going to post, and the tote returns a win on Rocket Dancer, paid only 4-1, paid £5. Places, £2 Rocket Dancer, £3.10 Stigon, £2.70 Alleged Savage, and the reverse forecast paid £38.60.
Yes, so Noel Meade sending Rocket Dancer for the 4-year-old hurdle at Punchestown. He was delighted with the way he won. But the second horse, Stigon, Mickey Flynn said he's improved no end since his run in Cheltenham, where he suffered a bad cut, and he was actually laid off for about 10 days after that. So he needed, he needed that race, and he really felt he's improved a lot from that run, and he's jumping a lot better. On a sadder note, Charlie Swan said that his horse, Moon Tiger, he broke his leg coming up to the line, and unfortunately he was put down.
The runners and riders now for the Jemison Gold Cup Hurl, valued to the winner of £11,500, and the 9 runners headed by My View, the mount of Tom Taff. Number 2, Arden, the first of the 2 English challengers, Richard Dunwoody. Number 3, Keep Hope Alive, Declan Murphy. Number 4, Mass Appeal, ridden by Colin Bones. Number 5, North to Alaska, Mr. Aidan O'Brien. 6, Vaughan Lad, Kevin O'Brien. 7, Little Bighorn, and the man informed, Tommy Carmody. Number 8, Opryland, Mickey Flynn. And number 9, South Key Lady, ridden by Jason Titley.
Well, a lot has been said and written about Fairyhouse in recent times, not all of it complimentary, but I must say that the place looks magnificent this afternoon, the first of this three-day Easter meeting. Well, earlier in the week, we visited the course and I spoke to foreman Johnny McCarthy. I asked him what preparations went into a meeting such as this.
The course all has to be refilled, or there was race done before, previous to this big one. And the grass have to be cut on it. The fences all have to be done. The fences are 50 feet. The wings have to be put up. The hurdles have to be got ready and put up. The running rail, about a mile and 3/4 of it, for the hurdle racing and the bumper racing.
Hurdle making, it's a very skilled job.
Well, the two men that's here are very good at it, three. Michael Dordan and Oliver Dordan and Larry Newman, Ken Brennan. They're all pretty good at it. They're good, all good fencemen.
And what goes into a flight of hurdles now?
Well, for the start, if there's over 20 runners, 8. Under 8 is 7, and the rest are 6.
6 flights in
it? All around, 6 sections all around. For the 8, so there's 6 hurdles, or 7.
And what makes up a section now? You have a frame and then you lace it, what, with birch?
With the birch, yes. You have to take the fine birch out with the big bundles and lace the hurdles with it.
You've seen it, Johnny, you've seen it, what, for 55 years now you've been here at Fairyhouse?
Might be even more.
It's a fair innings, isn't it?
Yeah.
You must have seen a lot of changes.
I did. I seen from the bank courses to the birch fence. I seen the old hurdle course that used to go on the inside in front of the stand. I've seen that done away with.
Really, some of the bank memories now. That must have been fascinating then.
It was all more or less hunter chasers you had that time, I think. It was really good racing in it too.
What are the best days, Johnny, that you've seen here?
I'd say the year Royal Approach won.
He was a good horse.
He was training himself by the present Mr. Draper's father, Tom. And he won. He's only a 6-year-old. I thought he was a great performance for a 6-year-old.
Didn't he carry 12-7?
He carried a big weight, yeah.
And what about Arkle, of course, because he followed Royal Approach?
Yeah, he was an horse on his own. You couldn't class him, could you?
That must have been some day, Arkle in height of fashion.
Yeah, it was. It was, and I'd say that year there would be a hell of a crowd here that year.
Final fence, and it's Arkle and height of fashion. These two from Loving Record and Ferrybank racing out of the final fence. Arkle and height of fashion together. And it's Arkle just the leader. And in the race home now it's Arkle. Arkle and height of fashion, very little between them. And Pat pushing Arkle out. Height of fashion trying to bear him down on him. But racing down now at 50 yards to go. It's Arkle. And coming down to the finishing home. It is Arkle. That's his one. And there he goes. The undisputed champion.
Well, some race, wasn't it, Arkle and height of fashion. Johnny McCarthy, some man, 55 years he is in the job. And of course that race, the Arkle height of fashion, the commentary there. Marvellous to hear the voice of Michael O'Hare. We can take some starting prices now, check some results from Mallow. And we start with the 230, won by number 14, Only Great, at 7-2. Second was number 1, Belmartin, at 11-4 favourite. And third was number 3, Tullyrand, at 10-1. 3 non-runners, numbers 4, 17, 27 and 30. 29 went to post. In fact, 27 was withdrawn. Rule 4 applies, and there was a deduction of 5 pence in the pound from that race. So we'll now take a break, as is happening there. Join us again very shortly.
I think you might be quicker on your own, son. Oh, I remember the first time I went for ice cream. I ran all the way to Hazelbrook Farm. Watching them make the ice cream with all those natural dairy ingredients, I couldn't wait to get home and try some. And you know, HB ice cream still tastes every bit as good today as it did when I was a boy.
Hazelbrook Farm from HB, Ireland's favourite ice cream.
Terry's famous chocolate orange. Smooth milk or plain chocolate with real oil of orange. How safe is yours?
Happy with your wash?
Not you again. Yes, I'm 100% happy. It's perfectly clean.
Even
close up. Yes, goodbye.
Smell it.
Smell it? OK, so I can smell something when I iron, but this is Ralph's sweaty work shirt.
Actually, it's bacteria.
Bacteria?
It's the bacteria that causes smells.
But I just washed it.
At today's low temperatures, some detergents have problems shifting bacteria.
So what do you suggest?
Ariel Automatic.
You can prove this, I suppose.
Look, Ariel's hygienic cleaning system removes dirt and the lingering bacteria that causes odour, even at today's low temperatures.
The smell's gone.
Then the bacteria's gone. So you'd say for stubborn stains and lingering odours, nothing outperforms Ariel Automatic.
No, I'd say that on tough dirt and smells, nothing beats Ariel.
Oh, right.
Brew cream. For your hair. For your face. For your body. Total control. From Brill Cream.
Today, Mom showed me how to bake with Stork. It always gives her great results.
Stork. Perfect baking every time.
Note, note, note. This year's Listowel races, September 24th to 28th.
Since the arrival of Cash Chase, the country is in the grip of a new and startling phenomenon. Citizens from all walks of life have been seized by Cash Chase mania. Gigantic queues are a daily occurrence, and across the land, winners' announcements are awaited with anticipation. Who will be next to win up to £10,000 instantly? Who will be next to win in the grand prize game? And what lucky citizen will win the extra cash or a stupendous shopping spree? Stay tuned for further bulletins, and remember, don't get caught without one.
Welcome back to Ferry House, day one of this Easter meeting, and everyone here, a little bit chilly I can tell you, but the sun is out, and as long as the sun's out I think everyone's pretty happy, and there's a party of picnickers all here, a lot of people, first-time racegoers this afternoon. They've heard about a horse called Desert Orchid, and they've come to see him. There, the bookmakers, the Irish National, I don't think it'll be a race for the bookmakers because we only have two horses, Barney and Desert Orchid, in the handicap proper, so to speak. So it's not the most competitive of races. But we can take a look at the first of the 9 runners that we'll see for this Jemison Gold Cup hurdle. This is North to Alaska, number 5, trained by Jim Bulger. And North to Alaska, a gelding by North Summit. Well, he's a pretty useful sort, North to Alaska. He's won 3 times to date, and he was only narrowly beaten last time out when he was beaten into 3rd place at Naas in a hurdle race over 2 miles and 3. Aidan O'Brien rode him on that occasion. Aidan, of course, rides most of Jim's horses over hurdles and rides him again this afternoon. Before that, they'd been on pace behind Rawhide at Leopardstown way back in January. But I think North to Alaska, certainly on this better ground, he won't be too far away.
Yeah, I think he loved the ground, Robert. I rode a bumper winner on him at Leopardstown last season, and he's a great, good-looking horse, and I think the best of him you see when he goes jumping fences. Jim hasn't too many jumpers in training, and when he does run one, they're never far away. Any of his horses are never far away. He's had a great day on the Curragh on Saturday, and this horse looks an absolute picture. I'd say he'd run a good race. On the handicap, he shouldn't really win this race, but I think the good ground will improve his position quite a bit.
Well, we've got 2 English trained runners in this race, Arden and Keep Hope Alive. Arden trained by Charlie Brooks, and Keep Hope Alive trained by Barney Curley, and 2 real interesting runners they are. My view has to concede weight to his 8 opponents. As we see one of the English challengers, this is Keep Hope Alive. Keep Hope Alive, a gelding by Corvaro, trained by Barney Curley and the mounted Declan Murphy. Well, Keep Hope Alive is a very useful sort indeed, and beat Sipton Abbey very comfortably at Leicester before running 3rd behind Egypt Mill, one of the best novices in England, at Ascot, and then being 2nd to Orange Songateur at Newbury back at the beginning of last month. He's trained by perhaps the most colourful fella in racing in Barney Curley. Barney is always or very often at war with the bookmakers, and he's certainly at war with them at the moment. And Barney, he used to live, of course, not too far away from here in County Westmeath, and now firmly settled in Newmarket. But he's a man who loves to get on with the bookmakers. When I say get on, I mean get his money on. And very often when he can't get his money on in the denominations that he'd like to, well, of course, he finds fault with them. And in fact, his wife has now taken out a bookmaker's license herself. Let's keep hope alive. Well, before we see some more horses in this race, I can tell you that among the personalities here today is Bibi Baskin, and she's been talking to Mary Finnegan.
Bibi Baskin, word is out that there's hardly a racetrack the length and breadth of Ireland that you're not seen on nowadays. What's the reason? Explain yourself.
That, Mary, is almost true. I do go to an awful lot of races. In fact, I've done that now for about the last year. I don't know that you should tell the bosses at home that that's the case, but for example, this week I was in Gowran Park and here again at Ferry House. I just love race meetings. I don't bet, but I love horses and I love the whole atmosphere, particularly of the smaller racetracks all around the country.
And I hear, is it folklore or fact that you worked with horses at one stage of your life?
Well, I did, but not in any grandiose way. I worked in America with trotters and pacers, not the sort of thing that you see here today. And I used to groom them and just ride them out. Well, it wasn't really riding them out. You get into this thing they call a sulky. It's like a little chariot that's attached to the horses, and you sit in that and whoom, off you go. And I used to do that in Florida, sunny Florida, at 6 in the morning before I went to the real job. And I loved that.
So what's the attraction about Irish racetracks then?
Well, I think it's a lovely way to spend an afternoon, and I especially like the small ones because they're so homely, and I just think it's an awful shame that more people aren't going to the racetracks and that Irish racing isn't getting better support. I'd love that there might be a think about on that, because the numbers are definitely going down. I've seen it all through the national hunt season, and before that too, in fact, during last summer's flat.
And would you have a preference for flat or national hunt?
Well, I think the people with a really strong killer, this old hat, the real killer instinct, they must be the hunt jockeys, you know, because it's such a rough job, it seems to me. But the flat is so graceful and elegant, a joy to watch.
So do you have any notions about riding in a race yourself?
Oh no, no, I'm not an authority on horses in any shape or form. But in fact, I will be riding on one in a BB show. We're going to do a BB show that's based around a circus, and I think that's next month in May. And yes, I will be riding a horse in that, I think. Or maybe an elephant there again.
You'll be the very best of luck in that, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, the best of luck, Bibi. That'll be fun to watch. Back now to the Jameson Gold Cup hurdle. The runners and riders in the parade ring, the jockeys being mounted. Well, the horses being mounted, I should think. And there's Eddie Harty. Eddie Harty with saddling Arden, Charlie Brooks, just about to give Richard Dunwoody the leg up on this fella, and what an interesting horse he is, Arden. He was a very useful stayer on the flat when he was trained by Henry Cecil. Henry trained him to win at Royal Ascot. He won the Queen's Vase, and he's been lightly raced, in fact, over hurdles. He's a son of Ardross, but he won his first 2 starts and won them well. He beat Ashton Express by 2 lengths at Ayr, and then he made all and beat Athens Gate. He just held on to beat Athens Gate next time out at Ascot. He pulled very hard that day, and it'll be interesting to see how Richard anchors him this afternoon. Charlie giving Richard the leg up there, and these colours have been carried to a lot of memorable successes, both on the flat and over hurdles and fences. Over hurdles and fences, of course, Lanzarote springs immediately to mind, the champion hurdle winner of the mid-70s, and Slip Anchor won the Derby in these colours only 6 or 7 years ago. So number 2, Arden, sure to be one of the shorter priced horses in the market. He was beaten into 6th place last time out at Newbury. That was behind Forest Sun, and of course Forest Sun went on to win the Waterford Crystal Supreme Novices Hurdle at Cheltenham last month. So Arden's got smart form, he looks really well in himself, and he's got Richard Dunwoody in the saddle. Richard just touched off by Tommy Carmody in the last race, and who later on in the afternoon will be teaming up again with Desert Orchid. So the 9 runners filing out of the parade ring for a very valuable race indeed, this one, the Jameson Gold Cup hurdle, over £11,000 to the winner.
On the far side of the ring there, just coming down, is number 1, My View. There's number 4, Mass Appeal. Mass Appeal from the Victor Bowen stable. Mass Appeal was an impressive winner at Leopardstown earlier on in the year, but of late hasn't come back to that sort of form. The last time it was a little disappointing for me, and you're behind Grey Danube at Naas on a pretty soft ground when beaten 8 lengths on that occasion, and no match for Thornfield in a handicap before that. But previous to that was most impressive when beat Grey Danube and Al Salit at Leopardstown back in January. If it could come back to that run, I think it would make all these go a bit, but you have to take into account that his run twice since. Well, not poorly, it hasn't run quite as good as it did on that occasion. Ridden for Victor by his son Colin. Number 1 is just going out the gate onto the track at this moment now.
Yes, the runners beginning to leave the parade, or leave the parade ring, and they'll be parading in front of the stands, led by My View. There's Mass Appeal going through our shot there, Mass Appeal and Colin Burns. And here is the top weight, My View, the mother Tom Taff.
Yes, My View looked at Christmas to be probably one of our best novices. His last run was at Cheltenham when he was 20 lengths 7th or 8th to Regal Ambition. That wasn't a bad run either, considering how good a horse Regal Ambition is. Orbis was just in front of him on that occasion. He's won twice since. But My View's best win for me over hurdles was at Leopardstown at Christmas when he put up a sparkling performance there to beat some of what we thought were our best novices on that occasion. That's number 1, My View.
3 lengths to Mass Appeal, then Cambridge Queen, but as they race towards the home turn, it's Buck Willow and Kevin O'Brien in the lead, about to be tackled by My View, and Charlie Swan on the outside, and My View ranges up strongly to go half a length in front. Buck Willow in second as they race towards the final flight. My View is the leader. My View from Buck Willow in third place. Mass Appeal under pressure, and as they come down to the final flight, it's My View the leader, 3 to 4 lengths clear. Buck Willow's in second, Mass Appeal is third, but My View jumps it quite well, although he did hit the top of it. He's 3 to 4 lengths clear. Buck Willow and Mass Appeal in a race for the minor places, but no doubt about the winner as Charlie Swan drives out My View to win this Irish National Hunt Novice Hurl qualifier. At the line, My View has won it. Mass Appeal gets up for second.
Well, that was My View's best success over hurdles. He was a decent bumper horse as well last year, and he's obviously a horse that maybe goes on all types of ground. Emer Purcell thinks he's best on goodish ground. We'll soon find out that. Last time he ran, as we said, he was beaten about 20 lengths by Regal Ambition at Cheltenham, and that wasn't to be a disgraceful run either. 20 lengths a long ways to get beat, but Regal Ambition's a hell of a horse. He won about 10 or 12, and he wasn't all that far behind Orbis at the finish, and he's come back to win twice here in Ireland since. Before that, he'd been no match for Scallion on very heavy ground at Punchestown, on ground he really doesn't like, and didn't operate that well on the very heavy ground at Gordon either, when you might be with us during the Thyestes meeting there. He was disappointing on that occasion, a handicap and beat by Rag Merchant. But Leopardstown is always pretty nice ground during the winter. He handled that well. He moves down like a horse that will appreciate this nice ground, and I think he'll run a big race here again today. That's number 1, My View. Looks an absolute picture as well, and has really come to himself in the last month.
And we can see where My View figures in the market, an 8 to 1 shot. Arden is the 9 to 4 favourite. Keep Hope Alive is 5 to 2. It's 3 to 1 then Little Bighorn, 4 to 1 North to Alaska, 8 to 1 My View, both on 10 to 1 Mass Appeal and Opryland, and it's 12 to 1 Bar. Mass Appeal and Arden lead them up to the flight that they'll inspect. Here's Little Bighorn, trained by Noel Mead, now bidding for a treble, as is rider Tommy Carmody. And Little Bighorn came good last time out when at Navan, won by 3 lengths from Radical Star. Before that, he'd been second to St Coleman's Well at the Curragh. Very disappointing, I thought, at the Curragh, but I think Noel thought that he was just short of a run that day, and that certainly put him right for Navan the next day. There's Tommy in the pale colours with the spots, making a point there with Mickey Flynn on Opryland. And when Tommy gets in this type of form, he's very, very hard to beat indeed. Little Bighorn, though, I think he's got it all to do this afternoon. He gets £11 from My View, he gets £8 from Arden, and a little less from Keep Hope Alive. But he's going to appreciate this ground as well. The son of Blakeney, he was third in the Budweiser Irish Derby 2 seasons ago. And there aren't too many classic placed horses that go on and jump hurdles for a couple of seasons. you give him a chance, Ted?
I do, yes. I think he loved the ground, and I think he'll jump a bit better today. I was a little disappointed about Navan. I thought he'd win easier, and his jumping was just getting the hang of it towards the end. He tends to jump early on a little bit high. You would imagine he's a brilliant jumper, but he tends to dwell a little bit in the air. But when he gets to really know what it's like to hurl, which I think he may do here today, he could be a very smart horse. Noel thinks he's a hell of a horse, rates him very highly and thinks he's in good shape, and I say he's expecting maybe to fulfil that treble. There's number 6 there, that's Bonmore Lad. Bonmore Lad from Andrew McNamara's stable. Bonmore Lad was an impressive bumper winner when he won a couple of bumpers and then came back to win a couple of decent hurl races. We saw him win a hurl race at Naas back in January, and that was in impressive fashion. Put up a good performance on that occasion, looked like getting beat, but quickened up again from the last to go away to win. That's Bonmore Lad, and he could maybe spring a little bit of a surprise here. I know he's not in the betting, Bonmore Lad, but he's one that people tend to disregard the horses from the south of Ireland sometimes and think that all the good horses are up around here. That's far from the truth. Andrew McNamara is a very good trainer, has trained Borean Prince to be one of our Cheltenham winners in recent years and win a lot of big races, and he knows what it takes to win one of these big races, and I think he'll have Bonmore Lad in good shape to do so here today. Mount of Kevin O'Brien, one of the top jump jockeys in the country riding at the moment.
Here's Opryland, Ted, owned and trained by Frank Lannan and the Mount of Mickey Flynn.
Yes, Opryland is a decent enough sort of horse. Just tend to sort of swish his tail a little bit here when he won with Francis Woods Road, and when he got a smacker on the backside, he didn't resent it a little bit. Tony, they're getting ready to call him into line.
About to be dispatched.
Arden's 9 to 4. Keep Hope Alive on 9 to 4. Little Bighorn on 3 to 1. North to Alaska 9 to 2. My View on 8s. Mass Appeal 10s and 12 to 1 bar.
About to be sent on the way. The starter, Joe Collins, trying to sort them out. Little Bighorn in at the back on the inside, and the white colours with the spots. North to Alaska, sideways on in the orange colours. The other one in orange colours on the left as we look at them, that's Arden, who we'll refer to as the English challenger, as there's not an awful lot English about the other visitor. Keep Hope Alive, owned by Marley Donnelly, wife of bookmaker Joe Donnelly, trained by Barney Curley, who is based in Newmarket, and the horse is Irish bred as well. That's Mass Appeal and the Cross Belts, and Colin Bones, and they're off and running in the Jemison Gold Cup hurl as they make the short run to the first of the 9 flights, and Bonmore Lad is the leader, followed by My View on the outside, North to Alaska in the inner, and Arden is gone. Arden's gone to the first. Arden has unseated Richard Dunwoody at the first flight, made a mistake and has unseated Richard, who is sitting up and doesn't appear to be too badly injured as they go into the turn past the stands. Bonmore Lad is the leader, followed by My View in second, and then in third place North to Alaska, followed by Mass Appeal. The riderless horse is galloping right up on the heels of the leaders. Keep Hope Alive is running just in behind the fourth at this stage, and they're followed by South Key Lady along the inside, and looking back to the first flight. Richard Dunwoody safely up on his feet and walking away unharmed from that shock tumble as they go out over the second. Keep Hope Alive made a mistake there, and Bonmore Lad has been taken on by the riderless horse, who's cut just across them there as they jump the third. Bonmore Lad hampered but leading from North to Alaska. Keep Hope Alive, Mass Appeal. My View is next, and Little Bighorn and South Key Lady as they go towards the next flight. Opryland brings up the rear. Bonmore Lad not jumping too well and going out to the left there. North to Alaska is on the inner as they reach the top of the course. Bonmore Lad going on again, preceded by the riderless horse. In second place is North to Alaska. They're followed by My View, and behind My View on the inside comes in fourth place Keep Hope Alive as they run downhill, heading towards the next flight, which will be number 5, and Bonmore Lad is the leader. North to Alaska on the inside. On the right as we look at the My View, then Keep Hope Alive. Behind Keep Hope Alive, Little Bighorn on the outside, not fluent there. And it's Bonmore Lad from My View. North to Alaska on the inside of Mass Appeal. Keep Hope Alive. South Key Lady takes the rails as they come now towards the 7 furlong marker. They have another 4 hurls left to jump, and Bonmore Lad, North to Alaska on the inside. Mass Appeal is third, and fourth place My View. 5 Keep Hope Alive. Little Bighorn 6, and then South Key Lady, and finally Opryland over the fourth from home. North to Alaska lands fractionally in front. followed by Bournemore Lad in second, and they're followed in third place on the inside by Keep Hope Alive. Little Bighorn moves up 4, Mass Appeal 5, just behind the South Key Lady in my view, and they're 3 lengths in front of Opryland as they come to the 5 furlong marker. North to Alaska, Bournemore Lad dispute the lead. Keep Hope Alive on the inside of Little Bighorn. My view is next, coming towards the third from home now, and it's North to Alaska on the inside of Bournemore Lad, who probably has a narrow advantage. My view on the outside with Little Bighorn. Keep Hope Alive next, then Mass Appeal, South Key Lady and Opryland as they race towards the home turn now. North to Alaska on the inside of Bournemore Lad with Little Bighorn going ominously well just behind them, and they've shaken off Keep Hope Alive in my view. Around the home turn, 2 to jump, and Aidan O'Brien in the lead on North to Alaska, with Tommy Carmody again going very strongly in second place on Little Bighorn as they come down to the second last. North to Alaska tackled immediately by Little Bighorn. They jump it together and they're well clear of Bournemore Lad, and Little Bighorn has the advantage now as they race towards the final flight. Little Bighorn, North to Alaska under pressure, but Little Bighorn out in front from North to Alaska. They're a long way clear. In third place is Bournemore Lad, and at the last Little Bighorn, not particularly good at that one, but cleared it with plenty of air and racing up towards the finish. Little Bighorn, eased down, ears pricked, winning this one comfortably. What a day here for Tommy Carmody and Noel Meade. The winner throwing a little buck jump there on the run in and hacking up here. Another easy win for Carmody and Noel Meade. Little Bighorn wins the Jameson Gold Cup Pearl, 5 to 6 lengths clear of North to Alaska. My view is third, Bournemore Lad 4, then Opryland 5, Mass Appeal 6, and a long way last is South Key Lady. So the combination can do little wrong. 3 races here at Fairyhouse on Easter Monday, all 3 going to the combination of Tommy Carmody and Noel Meade. Little Bighorn coming home the very easy winner of the Jameson Gold Cup Pearl, and Tommy's percentages ticking over nicely today, Ted.
Yes, indeed, Tony. Tommy's had a little dream here. First 3 winners. He didn't have to do anything on that, only steering. And North to Alaska has led him into the straight, but only on sufferance for Aidan O'Brien. Little Bighorn is absolutely doing half speed at this stage. Doesn't find maybe as much as expect when he comes off it, but he hasn't to do any more. He's going down to the last here, leaning a bit to the left here under Tommy towards the stand side a little bit, and Tommy lets him pop the second last. He actually, I'd say, would probably have preferred to get a lead a little bit further than this, but he's going so easy. Tommy just lets him quicken up when he crosses the road here, and away he goes. This horse that was ran such a good race in a Budweiser Irish Derby, you'd expect him to find this out of gear. North to Alaska has run a good race. He's quick and really quick to the last, but drops a little bit going to the last, runs a little bit to the left again, and jumps a little bit high and deliberate. He's not a very fluent hurler just yet, but when he starts to do that, he could be a Galway hurl horse even, or maybe even better. He quickens up well again. Tommy can just let him coast in here. Nice and easy one after a pretty hard victory in the first race. He's had 2 easy ones and had to work for one, and that's the one that counts. This is a 3rd winner for Noel Meade and for Tommy Carmody. I hope they can keep up the good run for Noel Meade. I ride from him from the last, but I'm sure Noel will be quite happy with his day so far. 3 winners, the first 3 races at the Fairyhouse Festival meeting. Quite an achievement, both horse and jockey and trainer.
Little Bighorn returned the 3 to 1 winner. I wonder, is Belser's price going to shorten for the National the way things are going for T. Carmody this afternoon? Delighted Noel Meade facing us. All 3 of the Meade horses relishing the fast ground, and T. Carmody very much on a high. The winner, Little Bighorn. In second place was North to Alaska, and the pair finishing well clear of the rest. Now the full result and starting prices on the 3:15 here at Fairyhouse. The winner, number 7, Little Bighorn, at 3 to 1. Second was number 5, North to Alaska, at 5 to 1. And third was number 1, My View, at 8 to 1. And the joint favourites at 9 to 4 were number 2, Arden, who went out of the race at the first flight, and number 3, Keep Hope Alive.
The official distance in third race, 6 lengths, 5 lengths.
And now we can bring you the tote prices of our second race, the Hackett Bookmakers Dunshaughlin Handicap Hurdle, which was won by the 7 to 1 shot Fane Banks. Second was number 14, Altoon Tash at 13-2. Third was number 5, Opened the Gate at 11-2 favourite, and fourth was number 4, Wolver Run at 12-1. One non-runner, 19 went to post, and the tote price is a win, paid £3. Well, that's an odd one indeed. We'll check on that one. But a place, number 11, Fane Banks, paid £4.60. Place Altoon Tash paid £2.20, and a place on Open the Gate, £3.60. The reverse forecast paid £144.20. But as I say, we'll check on that winning dividend. Well, time to join Mary Finnegan again, and this time she's talking to arguably one of the greatest jockeys of all time, Pat Taff.
And Pat, you've won the Grand National 6 times.
6 times, yes.
The first time was when?
In 1955 on a horse called Royal Approach. It was perhaps one of the best horses I've ever ridden. But unlucky for the horse, he got a kick out in the field that summer, and he broke a bone in the back of his knee, and he never raced again.
And you were a young man at that stage. Were you very young at that stage?
Oh, well, I was 25, you know. I loved racing. And, well, Fairyhouse has been one of my lucky tracks.
And Arkle, was he the greatest you ever rode?
Oh, he was easily the best horse I've ever ridden.
Tell us about that. That was in 1964 when you won here at Fairyhouse,
Well, he won. He had a good battle with Height of Fashion. She was a great little mare, and she was racing against the best horses all the time. But the funny thing, 2 years later, I came to win the National again on Flying Boat, and had to beat Height of Fashion again that day. So, like, if you compare the horses, Arkle had a harder battle with Height of Fashion than Flying Boat had.
Indeed.
So, on those terms, you might say Flying Boat was perhaps a bit better than Arkle, but I don't think he was.
I see. And why was Arkle as good as Arkle was?
Well, he was like driving a Rolls Royce against Morris Minors. He had always a second gear, and he just run away from the other horses.
And has the race here changed since your time?
Oh, well, the track has changed, all right. When I won in 55, they started across the middle of the track there, and it was only 3¼ miles. And now they've changed the track where they go up to Ballyhack. They jump the first four fences are in a straight line from the stands, and it's 3½ miles now.
Your son Tom was a winner here 3 years ago. Are there any other members of your family involved in horses?
Yes, well, my daughter Ola, she's in the Mercury business, transport and insurance and horses.
Does she also ride?
No, she doesn't ride, but she's messing around with horses all the time.
And what about yourself, Pat? Do you ride out these days?
Oh yes, I kind of loved riding all the time, and have to keep the horses going at home myself, and riding I find is the easiest way to do it.
Is it harder riding nowadays than it was in your time?
Well, not really, but the conditions have changed. Like when I rode first over fences, that was in the 50s now, we didn't have the helmets. You know, and now they've helmets and chin straps, and they've got back protectors, and they're nearly covered in coats of metal.
Well, regardless, Pat Taff, you survived it all with or without the protection. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, Pat, marvellous man, and must say looking marvellous this afternoon. Time now to join Tracy Piggott for news of our second race, the Hackett Bookmakers Dunshaughlin Hurdle.
Yes, well, Noel Mead's now completed a treble, but Fane Banks was the second leg of his treble, and he's going to go for the 3-mile handicap at Punchestown. But he nearly didn't make the race. He experienced a bad foot bruise yesterday caused by a stone, and so he was very unsound, and they took him swimming yesterday, and they found he was sound this morning, so that was very lucky. But it was one of the roughest races I'd seen in a long time, and a lot of jockeys were complaining of being hampered and bumped, so he was lucky to win so well. And a little bit of information back from the first race about Stigon. He looks like he might be coming to run on Wednesday in the 3-mile handicap hurdle.
Well, Stiggon on Wednesday, and we'll be there as well, of course, as I hope you will. And Tracy is now joining me to have a look at some of the hats on offer.
Well,
Tracy, here's an interesting one for you.
That certainly is, isn't it? I wonder if I can find one like that. Oh, there's a nice one there, the lady with a nice blue bow on the back. And I'd say she's having problems holding that on because it's very, very windy here today.
Why are some of the nicer hats the least practical, Tracy?
I really don't know. I've never been a hat person because, as you remember, the last time I wore one at the park, it flew off and landed inside the weighing room. There's a very nice, the white one with the bow. It's quite summery, a little bit. Well, it brightens up the day, doesn't it, really?
Must be hard coming to a meeting in April knowing what type of hat to put in your car with the
well, I know,
so
just 2 weeks ago we had such
now
lovely
that's my
weather.
type of a hat.
Yes, now that's your type, Robert, yeah.
And that looks firmly planted on.
A bit of a dog there. I like that one. There's a sort of a trilby with a light blue sash round it. That's very smart and practical looking, and nice pretty girl there for you, Robert, look.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you, Trace. And
another nice
some
one.
Blues.
Yes, I like that one with a little bit of flowers at the front. The 3 green flowers. And the lady there with the massive, very nice hair. That doesn't look like it's going to blow off.
Well,
there's Noel.
There's Noel Mead about to accept a very handsome Jameson Irish Gold Cup as we join Tony O'Hare.
Presentation to Noel Mead being made by Michael Cummins, Director of Irish Distillers. The Jameson Gold Cup Pearl. So as Noel Mead walks away with the booty on a memorable afternoon for him, we'll take a short break from Ferryhouse and return with the build-up to the big one of the day, the Jameson Irish National, due off at 3:55.
With Uno Plus, the real plus is quality. Plus a new range of silk and matte emulsions that are easy to apply. Exceptional glosses that keep their finish beautifully. And the strength of weather-fast exterior paint. That's Uno Plus. Uno Plus, a stroke of genius.
Freephone 1-800 is a new service from Telecom Éireann. When you see a 1-800 number, it's free.
When work feels like a jailhouse or fuming in a hot courthouse, ooh, you gotta make it Maxwell House. Visiting the new tree house, snoozing in a cool boathouse, ooh, you gotta make it Maxwell House.
Since the arrival of Cash Chase, the country is in the grip of a new and startling phenomenon. Citizens from all walks of life have been seized by Cash Chase mania. Gigantic queues are a daily occurrence, and across the land, winners' announcements are awaited with anticipation. Who will be next to win up to £10,000 instantly? Who will be next to win in the grand prize game? And what lucky citizen will win the extra cash or a stupendous shopping spree? Stay tuned for further bulletins, and remember, don't get caught without one.
For delicious sweet and sour pork or chicken, simply add new Uncle Ben's sweet and sour sauce. Just look at those really crispy vegetables. You'll enjoy an exciting, mouth-watering meal in minutes. New Uncle Ben's stir-fry range. Perfect results every time.
Note, note, note. This year's Listowel races, September 24th to 28th.
Is it clean? Is it fresh? Freshmatically. Is it clean? Is it fresh?
Freshmatically.
Is it clean? Is it fresh? Freshmatically. Freshmatically clean. Freshmatically fresh. Harpic Freshmatic.
back to Ferryhouse for the big race. The big race, in fact, just 20 minutes away or so. A shame that Carville's Hill is a non-runner. We've always wanted to see Desert Orchid and Carville's Hill in opposition in this country. But I must say it is a great day for Irish racing to see the grey horse over here. Well, earlier in the afternoon, before racing, I spoke to Desert Orchid's trainer, David Ellsworth.
The year or the season, if you like, where trainers get nervous and anxious because it's been a long season, but you know, the signals we've got really are okay, and he seems fine.
When did you decide to come to Ferryhouse?
Well, it's been a thing we thought about for a long time, in fact, because it is one of the right-handed tracks you've got over here, which would sort of suit him really, and it's a good prize, and along with the Whitbread, it's the time of year where, you know, it lends itself to his program. So here we are.
Do you account his defeat in the Gold Cup entirely because it was left-handed?
Oh, the other two horses in front of him had something to do with it. I mean, without them, we'd have won. No, I think both those horses are very high-class animals, and I know it would sound contradictory when the winner was such a long price, but if you look at his form very closely, and perhaps on Gold Cup Day, he was better than he'd ever been, and hopefully he'll go on and endorse that and show us he is a good horse. But certainly Desert Orchid isn't nearly as good on a left-handed track, so he has to redress the difference. His superiority is far less around left-handed tracks, and if you can run a stone or so below your form and still win, you've got to be much better than the others, and unfortunately he wasn't that much better than the others.
The ground this afternoon, you've dug your heel in.
The ground's fine. I must confess I've only walked to the straight to the last fence, and unless someone's trying to hoodwink me and they haven't done the rest, I think it'll be fine. He doesn't mind the fast ground. I just really was worried that it could have been firmer than, you know, sort of dust flying, and that wouldn't have been a very good idea, but the ground's okay, there's no problem.
And finally, what about the battle plan? You've got 3 miles and 5 furlongs ahead of you. He likes it up front. Is that where he'll be throughout?
That's the way he usually runs, and really I leave that to Richard. You know, when you're out there, you play it by ear, and if something's going faster than Desert Orchid, then it'll probably be too fast, so we'll have a lead. But having said that, it's not an exact science, and no one's going to do you any favours, and if anything goes faster than him and wins, well, good luck to him.
Well, there's a view of the crowd, and they're all waiting for Desert Orchid. The rain is beginning to come down here, but I don't think that we'll see that crowd disperse too quickly. Everyone here has one thing on their mind, and that's to see the great grey horse. Now the winner of very nearly £500,000 in prize money. He holds the record for prize money, but there's no sign of him. We're looking into the stabling area there, the staddling area, and Desert Orchid as yet hasn't shown his face.
Number 7 there, that's Barney Burnett, our own runner in the race, and Barney has been a good old servant to everybody concerned with him. He's won almost 100,000 in prize money, 93 to be exact, 56 or 7 of that in first prize money, and the other 30 or 40 in place money. He's won 13 races, and he's in good form. He couldn't manage to win it last year. 4th was the best he did. I suppose you couldn't expect much more from him this year. He's, I think, a fresher horse this year, and I think he'll appreciate a bit of nice ground, and I think he'll run a good race. I think you'll be asking any more maybe than to finish second in it, but I'd be quite happy if he finishes in the first 3 in this race. It's a competitive race, and he's in good form, and I expect him to run a good run here. If the grey horse is as good as he can be, well, he's going to be very difficult to beat, and but other than that, he's in with a chance. We'll have the others. Have a Barney is the one Irish runner, I think, that's running off the right mark. He meets Barney in 8-pound better conditions. Number 4, Have a Barney, is in the ring. The rain is coming down there now. It's a real sleety sort of rain, hailstones. The crowd just around at the back of the old Sadley enclosure there, waiting for the grey horse to appear. He hasn't yet. Enough of guards around there. as if somebody was going to do something to him, but I think you have no worry about that. There's number 4, Have a Barney. Have a Barney, Arthur Moore's runner, and Arthur likes to get horses spot on for big handicaps, and I think he has freshened this horse up really well. He lost his form a bit over the Christmas when he had a couple of falls, but he came right back to his best when second to Orbis in a hurl race at Leopardstown. Well, right back to show that he's come back to his best, and Arthur will have him spot on. He showed early on in the year that he was going to be a real force over fences when he beat a real 2-mile specialist, the late Wolf of Badenoch, in a handicap at Navan, but then lost his way along the way. But I think on this good ground, he was third in the National last year. He's coming back to his very best. He may be the one Irish horse to maybe trouble Desi. I don't think he'll beat him if Desert Orchid is as good as he can be, but that's a bit of an if as well. David Ellsworth didn't seem that overconfident in his interview with Robert earlier on. But Have a Barney looks a picture, always, with the exception of those 2 falls of fences, runs well. Here's Desert Orchid on his way out now, coming in. You can hear the crowds in the background. Just there he is, giving the great horse a reception, and they're actually cheering from, I don't know if you can hear or not there, just to show that the Irish people appreciate a good horse wherever they see him. He doesn't necessarily have to be Arkle. People mad to just put their hands on him and touch him. I know I felt like I'd done it myself when he was in Cheltenham. It's a great treat. Such a good horse as this. He's been a model of consistency over all sorts of trips, 2 miles to 3 miles and 5. His girl that looks after him all the time, Janice, they're leading him around. Looks an absolute picture, and it's a great credit to everybody to get him over here, and full marks to David Ellsworth and the Burgess for bringing him as well, because we all appreciate a good horse, and I hate people trying to compare him with Arkle because he was a phenomenon. This horse is a great horse in his own time, and that's all any horse can be, and he's been a model of consistency right through his whole career. His high climax was in last year's Gold Cup. He's won 3 King Georges and over £500,000 in prize money, and rarely ever runs a bad race. Runs his heart and soul out. Has won for all jockeys, over all trips and all types of ground. You can't ask for any more than that. He's 11 years of age, and has given his all. And I think he's what the game is all about.
Yes, that's what the game's all about. Desert Orchid. We'll catch up with the runners for the Grand National in just a moment, but we've had 3 races here at Fairyhouse, and I have with me the winning trainer of all 3 races. No, it's fantastic. When was the last time you had a treble?
I think 2 years ago, Robert. It's a while since we've had a treble, all right.
Well, in fact, Ted rides one for you in the bumper, and he's hopeful, I think. Could it be a 4-timer?
A lot of pressure on him now, anyway.
Tell us a little bit about these winners. Now, I mean, Little Bighorn, last time I saw him was when he was beaten at the Curragh. He disappointed me that day, but he's come and he's beaten some of the best of them in real good style.
Yes, a lot of people were very quick to knock him at the Curragh. Like, what people were inclined to forget is that it was his first run since Christmas, since New Year's Day, and he's not a soft ground horse. He's a good ground horse, and he's a 5-year-old colt, and it's not easy to get a 5-year-old colt ready without getting a run into him. And I think at the Curragh that day, I was disappointed as well, but I think what happened was he just found he was wanting for a race, and he proved that 3 or 4 days later when he came out and absolutely bolted in Navan. And I think when he gets his jumping really well, he'd be a hell of a horse, because he is a hell of a horse.
Do you see him as a Galway hurdle horse, or will you keep him on the flat now?
He'll probably switch back after Punchestown to the flat, and I suppose if he wasn't, if there was a situation where the Galway hurdle looked on, we might go for it all right. But you must remember, Robert, he was 4.5 lengths behind Carroll House in the Champion Stakes last year, so I mean, you're talking about a pretty serious horse.
What about Rocket Dancer? He looked good in the first.
Yeah, Rocket Dancer is a horse that's coming along very nicely. He was a very nice horse last year. He had 2 runs in 2 maidens, got beaten at Leopardstown and beaten at the Curragh. Both times he was second, and after that he broke his pedal bone, and he had to stand in the box for 6 months. And when a horse stands in for 6 months, it just takes quite a while for them to come back, and I'd say Rocket Dancer's just finding himself now, and I'd say he is quite a useful horse.
Many congratulations indeed.
Thank you.
We'll check out on the runners and riders for the Jamison Irish Grand National now with Tony O'Hare.
The top weight Desert Orchid, Richard Dunwoody. Number 2, Carvel's Hill, is an on-runner. Number 3, Yahoo, also missing the race. Number 4, Have a Barney, Tom Taff. 5, Another Plano, Charlie Swan. 6 is Banker's Benefit. Second in this race 3 years ago, Anthony Powell. 7, Barney Burnett, Brendan Sheridan. 8, Belsair, and man of the moment, Tommy Carmody. 9, Bull Flyer and Sarah Cullen. Number 10, Caddy, Tommy Ryan. Number 11, Cloney Grange, David O'Connor. 12 is Cushinstown, Tony O'Brien. 13 Feltham Hill Lad Martin Lynch, 14 Mixed Blends, an absentee, as is Peacock Royale, number 15, 16 Risca's River, Mr. Francis Flood, 17 Ross Never Sleep is out, 18 the committee, Conrad Dwyer, 19 Us and Joe, Mickey Flynn.
In front of the stands, and the hail now is pretty unpleasant. There's the committee going through our shot there, Us and Joe, the grey Desert Orchid behind us, Risca's River in the black colours with the yellow crossbands, and Desert Orchid is the 11 to 10 favourite. Bowl Flyer is 6 to 1 with Have a Barney, Us and Joe 14 to 1, Barney Burnett 14 to 1. The committee is out to 16s now with Belsair, and it's 20 to 1 now by those 7. So Desert Orchid leads the parade. Desert Orchid, 12 stone on his back, and only Have a Barney, who follows him in the parade, is in the handicap proper. But what a proud horse he is. He has more presence than any horse in training, I think, at the moment. You couldn't call him beautiful, but he's just got a lovely head, hasn't he, Ted?
He has. Keeps his ears pricked all the time. It looks like he's taking in what everything is going on around him anyway.
Very, very aware. Richard Dunwoody none the worse for his fall in the previous race, and a lot of people didn't come out of the stands after that last race just to get a vantage point for this one, and now they have seen him for the first time, and a big roar went out from the stands. So Desert Orchid leads the parade out for the 1990 Jameson Irish Grand National. Have a Barney we'll see following him in the parade. Have a Barney, the mount of Tom Taff. Peter Martin to the left of Desert Orchid. There's Have a Barney and Tom Taff. Have a Barney, trained by Arthur Moore. Arthur won this race as a rider on King Sprite back in 1971. That's number 4, Have a Barney. Number 5 is Another Plano, owned by Eddie Macken, trained by his wife Suzanne, and the mount of Charlie Swan. Banker's Benefit next in the parade in the blue colours with the red crossband and the red hoop and the sheepskin noseband. Here he is, the mount of Anthony Powell, Banker's Benefit, trained by John Fowler, winners of course a year ago with Made of Money. Number 7 we see is Barney Burnett. Ted, Barney, chance today?
I spoke about him earlier on, Robert. He has a chance of being placed anyway, I'm hopeful.
Barney Burnett, number 7, £8 out of the handicap. Number 8 is Belsair, the colours of Paddy Anglem, winners at Galway last season. Belsair, the mount of Tommy Carmody. Tommy bidding for a 4-timer this afternoon. 9 is, what an interesting one this is, Bowl Flyer, the Galway Plate winner, ridden by Sarah Collin, who rode him to success at Galway back in August last year, and a fabulous jumper this one. I'd long to see this horse upside Desert Orchid. Number 9, Bowl Flyer. 10 is Caddy, a long way out of the handicap, but a lover of fast ground, in the colours of international artist Peter Curling. Number 10, Caddy, the mount of Tommy Ryan. Tommy already successful in a national. 11, Cloney Grange in the red colours and the blinkers, just following. Cloney Grange, the mount of Doc O'Connor, and trained by Joe O'Connor. There he is, Cloney Grange, winners at Punchestown in contrasting growing just 6 weeks ago. There's Cushanstown and Tony O'Brien. This one trained in Waterford by David McGrath for Sean Lucy, and Cushanstown ran up a treble earlier on this season. 13, Feltham Hill Lad. Martin Lynch has travelled from England to ride this one for Pat Griffin and Mrs. Lehman. Feltham Hill Lad, not the most consistent, but useful when he won the Leopardstown steeplechase. Mixed Blends and Peacock Royale, non-runners, but the next that we see is Risca's River and young Francis Flood, son of Francis the trainer. Risca's River, £9 out of the handicap, but very good on this type of ground, but has it all to do today. And the last 2 turning away, the committee, number 18 and Conor O'Dwyer, this one trained by Homer Scott, and the last in race card order we'll see is Us and Joe, trained by Paddy Mullins. There he goes, Us and Joe, the mount of Mickey Flynn. £4 out of the handicap, but a very, very useful first season handicap chaser and one of our better novices last season. So the 14 runners make their way down for the Jameson Irish Grand National, and I think that we're in for some race.
Ask Chris to join.
What about this commercial break now?
Bankers Benefit on the right there of the picture. Bankers Benefit on the right of the picture there, having a look at the ditch, the second fence in the national course. He was one of everybody's fancy for last year's national, and he ran a good enough race, finished 5th on that occasion. But since he's definitely lost his old sparkle and form. John has fitted in with blinkers. I've done myself with Barney Burnett to try and rekindle some of that old sparkle. And Bankers Benefit just hasn't come back to the horse that we thought he was this time last year. A lot of people even fancied him maybe to finish in front of his stable companion Made of Money last year. I know I was one. I think you were another, Robert, but he finished 5th on that occasion. Niall Madden rode him, but that's the last time he's really ran a big race. He's run some all-right races, but not the sort of Bankers Benefit we have known in the past. He's still quite a young horse, but he has a lot of mileage up on his clock. But I think if he runs a good race here today, John might be tempted to soldier on with him over the next few seasons. And I think if he runs very bad here today, I think you might see John maybe give him a year off and see if he could freshen him up with that. He's perfectly sound and everything else, but his own mind is just not switched on to the game like it used to be.
And Anthony giving Sarah Cullen a pat on the shoulder there. I wonder what they were talking about. But Sarah, I think, rides one of the most exciting horses in the field. Bold Flyer. We saw Bold Flyer win a Galway Plate last year, Ted, and I must say he's a horse that can jump.
Well, if he gets the next mile, like he got the 2 mile and 5 there, he's not even badly in with 10 stone here, even though he's a little bit out of the handicap. Sarah is sure to let this horse bowl along all the way. He cuts loose these fences, a very spectacular jumper. I just wonder whether the likes of Desert Orchid breathing down his neck, if one doesn't interfere with the other. When I mean, one of the two of these is going to get disappointed along the way some way, because they both have the same style of racing, and maybe it'll be Bold Flyer, maybe it'll be Desert Orchid. We'll just to wait and see. But he's sure to run a big race. He's well fancied by all the stable connections. He loves the good ground that's out there, and as I said, if you could be sure he get that extra mile, he'll be very hard to beat. That's number 9, Bold Flyer. Ran a good race up the north behind Francis Flood's mare recently.
And we can see a show of betting with Desert Orchid, the 11 to 10 favourite, Bold Flyer 6 to 1, Have a Barney 7 to 1, Us and Joe is on 14s with Barney Burnett. It's 16 to 1, the committee, and Belsair 20 to 1 bar. Well, you can see a lot of people have gathered down at the start, and that's no bad place to be because the parade ring was 6 or 7 deep, and I'm sure there were people who only saw Desert Orchid's years. But here he is. We can see him in his full, and Richard Dunwoody tightening his girths.
It's nice to see most people here treat Desert Orchid as a horse as well. They call him Desert Orchid, and I know he's known at home in the yard as Desi, but a lot of things have been written about him and said about him that's not really true of any racehorse. A horse is a horse and an animal, and treated kindly and respectably as such, but they try to make him out to be some sort of a white jet and a motorbike and a motor car and all sorts of yokes. He's a gorgeous looking horse, a tremendous racehorse, and should always be treated as a horse. I'm sure a human being would hate to be called a fairy or an angel or something else which they're trying to make him out to be.
Well, the runners, looks as if they won't be too long before they're called up. Feltram Hill Lad, there's number 6, that's number 5, another Plano, and he won the big Findus handicap on good ground at Leopardstown at Christmas in the colours of Eddie Macken. Another Plano, Charlie Swan, and certainly each way potential there.
White flag is up for the Jemison Irish Grand National. There have been just 2 English-trained winners of this race, Don Sancho back in 1928, and more recently Ryman Reason in 85, and it's Desert Orchid, the top weight and favourite, and Bold Flyer, who go to the first together. Bold Flyer in the lead, Desert Orchid on the inside in second, Bankers Benefit in 3, and they're followed by Cloney Grange as they meet the first of the 22 fences. Desert Orchid on the inside, Bold Flyer on the outer, lands fractionally in front. Third place is Bankers Benefit, 4 is Cloney Grange, and then Barney Burnett and another Plano, Cushinstown, Bell Sur, then Caddy and Have a Barney, and they're followed by Feltram Lad as they come to the first stitch. Bold Flyer and Desert Orchid together from Cloney Grange in third. Behind Cloney Grange, Bankers Benefit. Barney Burnett is next. Behind Barney Burnett, another Plano, then Bell Sur, Feltram Hill Lad, Cushinstown, and behind Cushinstown is Have a Barney as they race up towards fence number 3. Bold Flyer and Desert Orchid. Bold Flyer, the narrow leader, going on now about a length up. Desert Orchid in second, Cloney Grange is third. Behind Cloney Grange, Bankers Benefit, and they're followed by Barney Burnett, and then comes another Plano, Cushinstown and Bell Sur with Feltram Hill Lad as they turn at the top of the hill and run down towards the fourth. Bold Flyer, Desert Orchid jumps up alongside. In third place comes Bankers Benefit. Behind Bankers Benefit is Cloney Grange. They're followed along the inside by Barney Burnett. Another Plano is next, then Cushinstown. Alongside Cushinstown comes Bell Sur as they come towards the fifth, and Desert Orchid jumps it in front of Bold Flyer. In third place, Cloney Grange. A mistake there by Bankers Benefit. Cushinstown has also lost a little ground as they come to the second ditch, and Desert Orchid and Bold Flyer are together, and they're about 6 lengths clear of Cloney Grange. Bankers Benefit in 4, Barney Burnett in 5, then another Plano. Behind another Plano on the inside is Caddy, and they're followed by Have a Barney and then Bell Sur, the committee, and Us and Joe. Cushinstown, then Feltram Hill Lad, and Risker's River brings up the rear. Running down now towards the next fence, which is number 7 in the Irish National, and Bold Flyer and Desert Orchid. Desert Orchid again, the better jump there, leads by half a length. Bold Flyer in second. A 4-length gap then to Cloney Grange, with Bankers Benefit running 4. A gap to another Plano and Barney Burnett, then Have a Barney with Caddy on the inner, then the committee and Bell Sur and Us and Joe, Feltram Hill Lad, Cushinstown, and still in rear Risker's River as they come to the next plain fence. Number 8 of the 22, and Desert Orchid striding along in the lead. Again, jumps it better than Bold Flyer in second. In third place is Cloney Grange, Bankers Benefit in 4, then Have a Barney getting closer on the outside of another Plano. Barney Burnett is next, and then Caddy. Coming now to the fence before the straight, the 9th in this 3.5 mile feature, with Desert Orchid in the lead from Bold Flyer, a gap of 3 to 4 lengths to third place Cloney Grange, and as they faller at that one, as they come down, it looks as if it's Feltram Hill Lad that's gone as they swing into the straight now, turning towards the first of the 2 jumps in the straight, and it's Bold Flyer, and alongside Bold Flyer, Desert Orchid. They're followed in third by Cloney Grange, and behind Cloney Grange in fourth place is Bankers Benefit as they come down now to the fence before the stands, and it's a Bold Flyer on the near side of Desert Orchid. They're followed by Bankers Benefit. Behind Bankers Benefit is Cloney Grange, then comes Barney Burnett, and they're followed over it by Have a Barney, and the faller was in fact Us and Joe. Us and Joe was the faller at the fence before the straight. As they come in front of the stands, they've jumped 11 fences at the halfway stage, and Bold Flyer shows in front by about a neck from Desert Orchid, then a 2-length gap to third place, where we find Cloney Grange. Behind Cloney Grange in fourth place is Bankers Benefit, and they're followed into the turn by Caddy, and then behind Caddy is Barney Burnett, and then Have a Barney. Another Plano is next, Bell Sur just behind them, then Feltram Hill Lad, and as they start to go up the hill for the second time with 11 more fences to jump, Desert Orchid ears pricked in the lead by a length and a half from Bold Flyer. In third place is Cloney Grange, in fourth place is Bankers Benefit, then Caddy. Behind Caddy is Barney Burnett, and then another Plano. Desert Orchid the leader from Bold Flyer, Cloney Grange, and Caddy takes a heavy fall there. Caddy is gone, going towards the next ditch, which is fence number 13, and Desert Orchid out in front enjoying himself from Bold Flyer in second, then Cloney Grange, then Bankers Benefit and Barney Burnett and Have a Barney and Bell Sur, and in behind is another Plano, then Feltram Hill Lad and the committee, and they're followed by Cushinstown. Behind Cushinstown is Risker's River going towards the top of the hill, fence number 14, and the leader Desert Orchid, followed in second place by Bold Flyer, then Cloney Grange. Barney Burnett is next, and they're followed towards the outside by Have a Barney. Behind these another Plano, then Feltram Hill Lad, then the committee, and after the committee Bankers Benefit has lost a few places, then Bell Sur at the top of the course. 8 fences left to jump. and the leader Desert Orchid, followed by Bold Flower. Cloney Grange and the committee has gone right up there on the outside. Then Have a Barney, Feltram Hillad just behind these, and behind Feltram Hillad on the inside comes Barney Burnett. Behind Barney Burnett is another Plano as they run downhill. 7 left to jump, and Desert Orchid the leader. Cloney Grange, Bold Flower, the riderless horse galloping alongside them, missing out the fence, and they're followed in 4th place by the committee as they come now towards the next fence, and the leader is Desert Orchid from Cloney Grange, Bold Flower, Barney Burnett, then the committee. They're followed by Have a Barney, and behind Have a Barney on the inside is Feltram Hillad, then Risca's River, Cushinstown. Belser is next, and the faller at that previous fence was another Plano as they come down with 5 to jump, and the leader is Desert Orchid. Bold Flower on the outside, then Cloney Grange, and they're followed in 4th place by the committee. Behind the committee is Barney Burnett as they jump the next. Desert Orchid the leader, followed in 2nd place by Bold Flower. The committee almost on terms. Cloney Grange just behind them, then a gap of 4 lengths to Barney Burnett. Behind Barney Burnett is Feltram Hillad, then Have a Barney, then Risca's River, Cushinstown, Belser and Banker's Benefit are tailed off as they come towards the 4th from home now, and it's Desert Orchid with the committee going well on the outside, and Cloney Grange and Bold Flower still in contention over the 4th last. Desert Orchid on the inside, the committee, Cloney Grange and Bold Flower. They're chased by Feltram Hillad. Behind Feltram Hillad is Barney Burnett, and they're followed by Risca's River as they come towards the 3rd last. The riderless horse galloping ahead of the favourite, who leads Desert Orchid from Cloney Grange. The committee is 3rd. At the 3rd last, Desert Orchid, not his best jump, but he's still the leader from Cloney Grange in 2nd, then Bold Flower. Risca's River makes ground in 4, Barney Burnett, then comes Feltram Hillad as they run the home turn. 2 fences left to jump in the Irish National. Desert Orchid still the leader. Desert Orchid the top weight in the lead, being chased by Cloney Grange, the committee. Risca's River making ground down the inside, but as they jump it, it's Desert Orchid the leader, and he's increased his advantage to 5-6 lengths. Risca's River in 2nd, 3 the committee, then Cloney Grange, Barney Burnett, Bold Flower and Belser have been pulled up, but down to the last, the top weight, Desert Orchid, Richard Dunwoody in the lead and clear, looking as if they only have to jump it, and they dive at it, escape with it and come down towards the finish. The leader, Desert Orchid, clear from Risca's River. They're all struggling behind him. An untidy jump at the last, but he's putting up a good performance and getting a tremendous reception from the crowd. Desert Orchid pushed out, hands and heels. Richard Dunwoody, the favourite, wins the Irish National. Desert Orchid clear, a good 10-12 lengths to the good of the line. Barney Burnett goes 2nd. Have a Barney is 3rd. I'd say Cloney Grange just 4th ahead of Risca's River in the committee, and then Feltram Hillad, and they're followed by Cushinstown, who's last. Belser was pulled up, and so was Bold Flower, but a very anxious moment for Richard Dunwoody, for the owner, trainer and all the people willing the horse to win the race. That last fence almost proved a disaster, but Desert Orchid survived and won by a good 10 to 12 lengths, with Barney Burnett taking 2nd place and Have a Barney probably just getting up to take 3rd.
Well, facing down to the 2nd last here, Desert Orchid has the race in command. All the Irish chasers behind, all battling out. Throws a great lap again at the 2nd last. Stands a mile out of there and lands running. Risca's River lands in 2nd place. Cloney Grange 3rd. Barney Burnett back in 4th, who battles on to be 2nd. Going to the last, the race is in safekeeping. Richard just picks a fresh hold up of him, but he misses this out completely, and lucky enough, he's such a clever old horse, he found an extra leg again, but he busted the last fence out of it. He was under pressure, maybe he would have stood out and jumped it. Missed completely here, chests the fence, and Richard gets them long legs out in front of him and holds him together, but that wasn't enough to stop him. He was absolutely thrown into the handicap here. All the horses, with the exception of Have a Barney, were out of it, and he goes away for a great victory here, and the crowd are giving him the sort of reception that you would expect a great horse like Desert Orchid to get. He quickens up again, 3rd in the Gold Cup. He's only blocked this winter in the hands of Richard Dunwoody. A nice easy victory there for Have a Barney, or for Desert Orchid. What a great performance it was, 12 stone and all. He's given 2 stone to those behind him. In 2nd place, running on to be 2nd, I think, was Barney Burnett, who runs his best race for a long time over fences. He stays on, gets the better of Risca's River. Have a Barney to be 2nd, Barney Burnett in 2nd, Have a Barney is 3rd, Cloney Grange 4th, and I think the committee and Risca's River 4th and 5th. But there's the great Desert Orchid going back into a tremendous reception here at Fairy House, and greatly appreciated by the Irish crowd, and deserves the applause he's getting. A marvellous performance from a truly great horse.
Well, what a fabulous performance there. Richard taking the saddle from Desert Orchid. On goes the winner's blanket, sheet, and this horse, well, he's a phenomenon, isn't he? He's now the winner of £550,000, but it's not the prize money that really interests anyone, because everyone's here just to see a great horse, and so capably and wonderfully handled by David Ellsworth as the winning trainer. David Ellsworth, at the bottom of your picture, bottom centre, in the brown cover coat, now facing the horse again, and quite a few of the guards just making sure that the horse doesn't get bustled. And there's Richard Dunwoody returning to weigh in. What a fabulous jockey he is. How tight he sat at the last. And what now for Desert Orchid? Richard Burridge to the far side of the horse's head with the open coat, familiar coat of his. Richard, who owns 50% of Desert Orchid. Here's the complete result coming, and it's Desert Orchid, the winner. Barney Burnett was second, Haver Barney was third. Risker's River was fifth. The committee was sixth, and Feltram Hill Lad was eighth. Cloney Grange was fourth. So the reporters, all with their pens out, getting the story from those who know the horse best. And the starting prices on the 1990 Jamison Irish Grand National as follows: Desert Orchid, the winner, at even money. Second was number 7, Barney Burnett, at 16 to 1, and third was Haver Barney at 7 to 1. We had 5 non-runners and 14 went to post. And so Desert Orchid is led away to the stabling area. Job completed. Everyone anxious just to get a feel of him. And those are the scenes that haven't been seen at Fairyhouse, I don't think. Well, certainly since 1964, when Arkle came and beat Height of Fashion. So we'll be talking to the great horses, winning connections, very shortly indeed. We're going to take a short commercial break now.
We're glad to say that Lion's Free Flow, the tea bags with bigger perforations, has been a real show-stopping success, because Free Flow gives you even more of that great Lion's tea flavor. Lion's bigger perforations, more quality, more flavor. Now isn't that worthy of a little song and dance?
Extra quality, extra flavor, Lion's the quality tea.
HB have created a spectacular ice cream dessert called Viennetta. But despite its deliciously rich ice cream and its irresistible crisp chalk layers, Viennetta could leave you with one small problem. Viennetta from HB. One slice is never enough.
Regular, sensible eating can help you to lose fat and get in shape. There is a breakfast that can help you start the day the right way. The Kellogg's Special K breakfast. With big, crunchy flakes and delicious malty taste. All adds up to around 190 calories. Kellogg's Special K. Get in shape, lose the fat.
I take my health seriously, and I'm careful about what I eat. But my dentist told me that even with a healthy diet, plaque can turn hidden sugar to acid, which attacks teeth for up to 40 minutes each time. And that's how decay can start. Now I use Endicay Dental Health Gum after daytime meals, snacks and drinks. New Endicay's special ingredient helps neutralize harmful acid. And it helps keep my breath fresh.
Unique new Endicay Dental Health Gum helps keep acid away all through the day.
As always today, there's some extremely smartly dressed ladies, and Thelma Mansfield has been talking to some of them.
Well, the sun is shining again. Isn't this the most extraordinary country? 1 minute it's raining and hailing, and the next minute the sun is shining. But I've been kept warm here at Ferry House today because I've been running around the place searching for those dedicated followers of fashion, and I'm telling you, we found them. Although there's an interesting theme to the people that we've chosen today. As you know, Switzer's put up £3,000 of prizes, so there was really wonderful fashion here. But the interesting thing that we've decided upon was that there was one colour theme that really took our fancy, and that was red and black. We didn't see too many light shades, we didn't see too many yellows and paler shades. I think the day, because it was that bit chillier today, in fact they say today was colder than Christmas Day, would you believe? So I don't think that too many light things came out. But let me just introduce you to the runners-up to start with. We've Charlene Butler here on my left. Charlene, hello, how are you? And you're wearing a lovely Cossack, a very youthful number today. Where did you actually buy it, Charlene?
I bought it in Acquiesce in Daffin Street.
Right. And do you normally wear hats?
I like to wear them, yeah. I like sort of the occasion, and it's cold today, so it keeps the heat in as well. So
yeah.
It's a bit of an advantage.
And
too.
You've no worry about your hat coming off or anything like that, because it really is windy.
Not really, sort of. I'm a bit at the moment I'm trying to hold on to the skirt and hold on to the hat, but it's grand. No problem.
Right. Do you normally spend a lot of money on your clothing, Charlene?
Not really. I tend to sort of, I'm good with bargains. I can get in and out and buy things, so I like to buy clothes, I must admit now, but...
Well, you'll be delighted to hear that you've won £250 of a shopping spree in Switzerland. So
even more.
We wish you well. And beside Charlene, we have the other runner-up, Pauline Woods from Foxrock. Pauline, looking absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
And you were telling me earlier that this is actually Irish-made.
To the best of my knowledge, I bought it in a boutique in Cork called Ivory Tower, and I know they make a lot of their own things, and I think this is one of their own models.
Well, it looks beautifully warm.
It is very warm, that's why I'm wearing it today.
Now, did you actually buy it with spring in mind, or was it something you had in your wardrobe?
Something I had in my wardrobe, and when I looked out the window today and I felt the breeze, I said, something warm.
Do you tend to go for red and black? Because it's not really in fashion at the moment, but I feel it always is in fashion.
Well, exactly. It's something that you feel always looks bright and cheerful.
And what do you think of fashion outside Dublin? You said you bought this in Cork.
I was amazed. I was only in Cork for a weekend, and I thought they had some beautiful things, and things that you can't buy in Dublin. Some things.
Great. So fashion is not, Dublin is not just the men.
No, I don't think so.
Now, beside Pauline, we have the overall winner. Pauline, I should say, won £250 shopping spree in Switzerland too. But this lady beside me, Theresa Murphy from Carrickmines, has won £2,000 of a shopping spree.
Very nice.
Now, when you heard you won, what did you say? You didn't know what prize you'd won initially.
Great surprise. I'm delighted to win it.
Well, I must say, your hat is exceptional. Where did you buy it?
I bought it in Brown Thomas's about 2 years ago.
Did you? How much would you actually spend on a hat? Because hats tend to be rather expensive.
This is the most expensive hat I have ever bought. I must admit, but I certainly got my value out of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Now, not everybody can wear hats.
Well,
Well, I wear them weddings, races and special occasions.
Do you? And what about the ensemble itself? I love the shape of your jacket. It's got lovely soft folds, and in actual fact you can wear it. It's got...
That's right. You take off the jacket and
straps.
If we ever get the weather.
So it's one of those that you can cover up if you want to, or take off depending on the weather. And you've teamed it with black. Did you buy it together as a suit?
No, but I bought them both in the same shop but at different times. I've had the skirt for quite a while, but the jacket is new from Ashley Reeves in Stillorgan.
Right. So do you tend to shop local? I mean, or
yes,
do you go?
I do.
And what about spending a lot of money, or do you
I think I spend very little, but my husband thinks I spend a lot.
Now you've 4 children, so that keeps you busy, I would say.
Busy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So when you buy clothing, do you tend to sort of treat yourself and make it a little splurge, or what?
Yes, I prefer to buy something I really like and spend the money rather than have a lot of things I don't really like.
Okay, so an investment in clothing is what you're looking
That
for.
you can wear to different occasions.
And do you tend to be a follower of fashion, or do you set your own trend?
I think I set my own trend. I think as you get older, you get more confidence in what you can wear, so you get to know what suits you better.
Yes.
Rather than being a follower of fashion.
So now, when you go into Switzer's with your £2,000, what sort of things will you be buying?
When do they open?
Well, listen, I know that after the cold today, Teresa, we'll have to definitely have a drop of Jemmy in the coffee.
Absolutely. I'll drink nothing but Jameson's out of this.
Right. So listen, congratulations to you. And indeed, I must say to all of you at home, it's really been a most pleasant day. It started off bitterly cold, but as I said, I certainly kept myself warm with Mary Cummins, the wife of the managing director of Irish Distillers, and Derek Lunn, not the other Derek, but Derek Lunn from Switzers, the merchandise director of Switzers. The 3 of us had a very difficult task, but I think you'll agree we didn't do a bad job at all.
Well, the hailstones are coming down, but I've got the 2 Richards beside me, Richard Burridge and Richard Dunwoody. Richard, many congratulations on a fabulous win.
Well, it was wonderful to watch, and the congratulations should be to Richard Dunwoody here and then David Ellsworth. But it was a great thrill to watch, and reminiscent to me of Whitbread a couple of years ago. He seemed to be jumping beautifully and always running within himself.
It was very generous of you to bring him over, I may say. Richard, what type of a ride did he give you this time?
I had a thrilling ride off him. I said Miss Collins, helped me along a bit. She's gone. My jumping's always just taking me past her, but I've got a blow where I wanted to take a blow. Got a bit close to the third last, and from there he's getting a bit tired, but under the weight, the weight's beginning to tell from the third last.
Well, he jumped the second last incredibly well, but that last fence, I'd say, well, we'll see it again, and you jolly nearly hit the deck, but you sat terribly tight.
Yeah, I say I wasn't worried going to last. He was a bit tired, so I wasn't going to ask him any stupid questions at it, and he's fiddled his way over. He's given it a bit of a clout.
What plans for him now, Richard?
Well, we'll just celebrate, I think, and play it by ear. See how he is in a couple of days' time.
Many congratulations indeed. Minister Albert Reynolds is about to make the presentation. Thank you very much indeed. So the Minister for Finance, Albert Reynolds, with this handsome trophy. Richard Burridge on the right of your picture. David Ellsworth, the winning trainer, just shaking the Minister's hand, and winning jockey Richard Dunwoody. And what a fabulous combination it all is. Richard Burridge, the managing director of Jameson, in the centre of our picture. And what a popular winner this was. A great day for racing in Ireland, I can hear the Minister saying, and that's what everyone's saying. So we can now rejoin Tracy Piggott for the results of the day.
Yes, indeed, and the 2:05 here was first number 2 Rocket Dancer 11-2, second number 3 Stigon 10-1, and third number 1 Alleged Sauvage 11-2. Non-runners were 20 and 23. No, both were 5-1 joint favourite. In the 240, first number 11 with Fane Banks at 7-1, second number 14, Altum Tash, 13-2, third number 5, Open the Gate, 11-2 favourite, and fourth was number 4, Wolverine, 12-1. 19 ran, non-runner was number 12. The next race is 3:15, number 7, Little Bighorn at 3-1, number 5, North to Alaska, 5-1 was second, and third was number 1, My View, 8-1. 2 and 3 were 9-4 joint favourite, and all 9 ran. The 3:55, the big race of the day, first number 1, Desert Orchid, evens favourite. Second was Barney Burnett, number 7 at 6-1, and third number 4, Have a Barney at 7-1. 14 ran, non-runners 2, 3, 14, 15 and 17. At Mallow, the 2:30 was won by number 14, Only Great, at 7-2. Second was number 1, Bell Martin, 11-4 favourite. And third was Tellyrand at 10-1. 29 ran, non-runners 4, 17, 27 and 30. The 3 o'clock was won by number 9, Playing Safe, 9-10 on. Second, number 6 was Hill 16 at 12-1. And third was number 12, Fluorescent Flow at 10-1. 13 ran, non-runners were number 3 and number 5. And the 3:30 was won by 12, Last Echo, 2-1 favourite. Second, number 14, Sanford Saint at 8-1. And third, number 13, Nordic Flynn at 6-1, 15 ran.
Well, again, the hail comes down, but everybody rejoicing here. Ted, I think it was a great day for racing.
It was a great day for racing. I think it was great that the horse came over and the right result for the public and everything else. The wrong result for me, I would like to see Barney Burnett win. Pleased with the way he ran, but it was a great result. The horse put up a marvellous performance, and he's a popular horse with the both English and Irish crowd, and it was a popular success, and that's what the jump game is all about. And I think maybe might encourage him to come back again next year. Something to look forward to.
Looking forward to tomorrow now. We've got the Hussar Hurdle and the Power Gold Cup. 2 good races.
Yes, I think Kichi will be looking forward to watching him run tomorrow. That good run in Cheltenham, I'll be expecting him to win here the Power Gold Cup tomorrow. We're in for a good day's racing again, and hope this weather, now that we have the ground a little bit easy, will go away and bring us a bit of sunshine.
Let's hope so. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 2 o'clock, same time, same place. But tonight we've got soccer action from Italy at 10:30 on Network 2, and that's followed by the Circuit of Ireland. Soccer action followed by the Circuit of Ireland. We're going to leave you with one of the great races of all time, I think, a fabulous sight. Desert Orchid winning the 1990 Jameson Irish Grand National. From us all, goodbye.
And it's Desert Orchid with the committee going well on the outside, and Cloney Grange and Bullfire still in contention over the 4th last. Desert Orchid on the inside, the committee, Cloney Grange and Bullfire. They're chased by Feltram Hill Lad. Behind Feltram Hill Lad is Barney Burnett, and they're followed by Risca's River as they come towards the 3rd last. The riderless horse galloping ahead of the favourite, who leads Desert Orchid from Cloney Grange. The committee is 3rd. At the 3rd last, Desert Orchid, not his best jump, but he's still the leader from Cloney Grange in 2nd, then Bullfire. Risca's River makes ground in 4, Barney Burnett, then comes Feltram Hill Lad as they round the home turn. 2 fences left to jump in the Irish National, and Desert Orchid still the leader. Desert Orchid the top weight in the lead, being chased by Cloney Grange, the committee. Risca's River making ground down the inside, but as they jump it, it's Desert Orchid the leader, and he's increased his advantage to 5-6 lengths. Risca's River in 2nd, 3 the committee, then Cloney Grange, Barney Burnett, Bullfire and Belzer have been pulled up, but down to the last, the top weight, Desert Orchid, Richard Dunwoody in the lead and clear, looking as if they only have to jump it, and they dive at it, escape with it and come down towards the finish. The leader, Desert Orchid, clear from Risca's River. They're all struggling behind them. An untidy jump at the last, but he's putting up a good performance and getting a tremendous reception from the crowd.